Nothing but complete and total destruction. Dead and in a ditch. Dead and in a ditch. Dead and in a ditch. That's all that is allowed. Oh my god, dude. This guy's such a pretentious freak. You cannot possibly comment on art unless you're a homeless communist gay.
Tom has been accused of using the N-word multiple times in private conversations.
Oh my goodness. He's been accused of saying the N-word in private conversations. No!
He is friends with Mutahar, who argued against Andrew Tate being deplatformed from social media websites.
Wait!
And has recently showcased a great deal of transphobia in his most recent video.
Oh my god, this guy's... Right, you can see why he deleted this. This is absolutely fucking shameful. He can call himself Negro if he wants. I don't care.
You have to assume that any white person you meet is racist unless they show you otherwise.
Oh my god, dude! F off, bro. Are you serious? Oh, in Praise of Shadows is the name of the channel, I believe. So this guy has been receiving a lot of criticism over a segment regarding Wendigoon. Wendigoon is a horror YouTuber who also does conspiracy stuff, and he's just a kind of regular dude, right? That's my interpretation. He's a kind of regular dude. He is on the right. I think he is a kind of Christian, but he's just a normal guy. I don't think he's particularly racist or bigoted or something like that. I mean, he's just a right-wing dude. He's got Christian values and views, but he often gets kind of criticized by the left for being some sort of extremist right-wing guy. But I look at him, I think, well, he's just a conservative, right? Like, didn't he even make a comment saying that he's not, like, super anti-LGBT or something? I mean, you know, unless I'm missing something, I've not heard anything he said. I mean, I don't watch all his stuff and cover his stuff, but I don't think he's ever said anything that crazy from a politics perspective. He's just a kind of fairly, you know, bog-standard conservative guy in his views. But then, obviously, you need to remember that to a lot of people, being a kind of standard conservative is an extremist position. Maybe that's what it is. Anyway, I've not seen or heard anything from him that's that egregious. In any case, this guy released this video, and we're going to watch a few clips of it that I think are kind of interesting, and then we'll get to the meat and potatoes. But yeah, this is the kind of stuff you can see from him. It's just movie review type stuff, I think. Movie commentary. Resident Evil, Anatomy of a Franchise, Dune, Scream, Carrie. Yeah, it looks like this Anatomy of a Franchise is some sort of like series that he does. Yeah. I don't know. Pretty standard stuff. Pretty standard YouTube analysis. Look, a 3-hour documentary video about Nicolas Cage. I mean, there's nothing here that's jumping out to me as being anything beyond just, you know, standard YouTube fare with a side helping of politics about a right-winger that you don't like, maybe, or something. I don't know. I don't know if I like to call it slop. Oh my God. I was literally looking for this image. Yes. This is exactly the image. I was trying to find it there, but I couldn't see it. This is it. I mean, unless I'm missing something, he's not even he's not even got any controversies about him or anything. He's just a regular dude. Anyway, there we go. So that's In Praise of Shadows' channel. Okay. Now, this is the video in question. Bad conservative horror movies. Okay. Now, from what I can understand, the video is just... Well, let's watch the first 5 minutes to see. And then we'll go into it. We're not going to watch all of it because it's quite a long video. Ooh. Production.
You know perfectly well what I'm talking about. And if you wish to stay here under my jurisdiction, you will toe the line as I see fit. For your sake as well as mine.
You have a very evil mind, Aunt Phoebe.
Artsy. Oh!
Over the weekend, February 16th through the 18th, I traveled to Concord, North Carolina to attend this year's Mad Monster Party, which was Far and away the most redneck and unprofessional convention that I'd ever been to in my life that was operating at this level of scale. The only thing that I could really compare it to for you is that it felt like something that was being run by that guy at your local small-town comic book store that had somehow gotten out of hand. The reason for my visit was due to a large amount of negative attention that the convention had received surrounding their headlining guest of honor, the alleged rapist, Kevin Spacey. But before we get to that, I think that we should talk about the convention itself, because once I arrived there, I realized very quickly how these conditions resulted in a Spacey invitation. As everything in the way that this was conducted is like the epitome of a misguided and mismanaged mess. Now,
not the Kevin Spacey stuff. Wait, I didn't even know about the Kevin Spacey thing. What? He talks about Kevin Spacey. I've covered that recently and given my take that Kevin Spacey is at worst a sexually aggressive homosexual who engaged in misconduct on some of his former movies and stuff and sets. But he's not a rapist, proven at least. And his eternal cancellation is cringe and should be, you know, he should be allowed to do what he wants to do now. He served his price. I don't think he's going to be touching any more bottoms. Let's put it that way. Okay.
Booking Spacey is, in
without
innocent
consent,
public optics, a very dumb idea, and you could try to write these people off as just straight-up morons, but they fully understood what they were doing, as on all of their public advertisements, they just happened to forget to include Spacey along with all of the faces of the other big guests. They knew that they had to spin this. First of all, I arrived to the convention and their small—
Oh my god, is this going to be like they invited Kevin Spacey, therefore it's bad? People need to actually go and look into the fucking Kevin Spacey stuff. Yes, his responses were retarded, okay? Yes, I agree, he did creepy stuff that made him seem way worse than he truly was. But if you actually go and look at the details of it, you know, particularly when you consider that a civil case, he wasn't found liable in the case of the accusation that he had, you know, molested Anthony Rapp. And then in the UK as well, a criminal case, he was found not guilty. I mean, look, I think he did misconduct. I think he did some fucked up shit. And I definitely think he acted inappropriately and stuff like that. But this narrative that he is a Harvey Weinstein-esque figure, I just do not think is correct. And I think, although there's criticisms on his actions, there were definitely people who got kind of involved with him that got it in their head that Spacey was going to help them out and therefore were willing to put up with sexual moves, didn't make it clear they didn't want that, and thought that that might help them along in their career, you know? Quid pro quo, I think, is what they were going for.
Main parking lot was already filled, and they gave me directions to their overflow parking area that upon arrival I realized was well—
Would you leave your child alone with Kevin? No, because he's gay.
over half a mile away from the event, and that they had arranged no shuttle services whatsoever, meaning that I had to walk down a dirt trail that had large rocks in it in the February cold to get back to their main building, which, you know, was fine for me. I'm in relatively good health, but you can't expect all guests who want to attend your public event to be able to physically do that. At night, I then had to walk the same trail back to my car in pitch black darkness, which is just a lawsuit waiting to happen. I'm not someone to ever actually make a complaint about something like that, but the reality of the situation is that not providing shuttle services to guests who can't walk when you make them park so far away immediately makes you seem totally unprofessional.
Okay, dude, what? I wanted to get a little flavour of the video, but now I'm intrigued at how retarded this is. So what, this event didn't provide shuttle services? Like, okay, yeah, shit happens. Yeah, welcome to life. Sometimes some events are not run perfectly to your satisfaction. Yes, correct.
I finally got inside to purchase a weekend ticket at the front desk. They tried to put a paper wristband on me. I tried to clarify saying that I didn't want a day pass, I wanted the weekend pass. And they said that that was the weekend pass. I asked if they didn't have any security badges, which are the norm for essentially any con of this size, and they said no. They instead expected me to wear this paper wristband at all times for 3 days straight.
Wait, what? Yeah, that's perfectly normal. What is he on about? I've gone to events like that before. What is this really a problem? Like, this is very standard. Wait. Yes, sometimes some events are run a bit cheaper, so you have to wear a paper wristband. That happens, yeah. What's the issue?
By the second day, it was falling apart because I had taken a shower and it became very soggy and uncomfortable to wear. There were no posted schedules of...
No, those things are covered in a material. So when you have a shower, it doesn't... And they're covered in like some sort of water-resistant material so you can shower in them, in my experience. Yeah, they're like waxed or something. Yeah, exactly. They don't fall apart. Like normally you have a shower and then you get out of the shower and it dries off after like 5 or 10 minutes. Okay, this guy's just a moaner, it feels like.
Of the events anywhere in the building. I asked the front desk if they had any printed flyers or brochures of when...
Also, could you not just go up to the main desk and go, oh, if it did happen to fall apart, I've got my pass here, it's falling apart, can I get a replacement? And, you know, yeah, they'd probably sort you out, wouldn't they?
The Q&A events were going to be held, and they told me no. They had nothing printed, and that the only...
Wait, what? He cut out the Wendigoon segment? Wait. No. No! Oh my god, that was time-stamped for the Wendigoon segment. Bro. No! That's crazy. Look. I literally just called it Wendigoon, click on it, and now it's the fucking credits, bro. He cut it out. You just caught this. Fuck. Where can I see it now? Is there an archive or something? Dude. Anyway, we'll find it, don't worry. It's just like, fucking hell, that's crazy. To take a whole segment out of your video. He's literally just excised it completely. Queeman watched it. Yeah, but Queeman hates Wendigoon, so we probably agree with everything he said.
The only way to find out what time things were happening was to go to the Mad Monster website and find their schedule there. At their Q&A events, the first 10 rows of the auditorium were reserved for VIP ticket holders only. The problem with that is that next to nobody purchased the VIP tickets, which resulted in the celebrities being separated from the audience by 10 mostly empty rows, really killing any kind of ability for the guests to build any kind of energy with the crowd, resulting in the panels being painfully awkward at times. Also because the guests were not actually really that famous.
I mean, the thing is, you know, I'm sure that this con probably sucked a bit, right? And it's fine to make a video talking about that aspect, you know? Yo, we got it! Yo! Straight away. Boom! Let's go. Based. Yes! Yo! We got it! Don't worry, guys. Apparently, Nicholas Diorio is the only person that's got it archived.
Welcome to Chud Nation.
That's crazy. I just asked him and he literally is like, yeah, he's just had the link immediately. Oh, there's also this as well. Oh, it's just, but that's just the segment itself. Okay. Damn. Okay, well, anyway, let's continue. We got options. Good job, Nicholas. He's got the whole thing.
Which we're gonna get to. The audience often just didn't have any questions for them because they didn't know who they were. So most of the Q&As only lasted for about 20 minutes or so, even though they had all been scheduled for an hour. I didn't eat before I got there the first day and expected to buy a snack at some point while I was there, and was very upset to learn that there was only an alcohol stand in the convention floor, and no food whatsoever. So I didn't end up eating until about 10 p.m. later that night. The next day I did actually learn that there was a food area for the con set up in the lobby of the hotel next to the convention center, but there were no signs telling you of this, and it was very much hidden. Luckily, the first night after having a late dinner, I could relax in the indoor pool that my hotel was advertised as having, which was just magnificent. Although, I guess I can't blame that on Mad Monster. Now...
Okay. Maybe there's a point to this, okay? Maybe he's bringing it together to make some broader point here. But this is called Bad Conservative Horror Movies. I mean, so far it's just whining about some shitty con that you went to. I mean, it's fine, I guess, you know, but I guess we'll find out what the point is in a minute.
First off, the argument should be made that even if the past 10 years of his life had not happened, should Kevin Spacey himself be the headlining guest at a horror convention in the first place?
Yes, why the fuck not? Why should Kevin Spacey not be allowed to be a guest at a conference? What argument is there to stop Kevin Spacey? What do they think Kevin Spacey's gonna do, dude? Like, he's not been prosecuted of any fucking crime, okay? He's been cleared twice in 2 different courts in 2 different countries. One at a civil level, where the burden of proof is lower, the standard of proof is lower. And then what are you left with? Stories about him being inappropriate. Okay, sure. But my view on it is like, genuinely, has he not suffered enough? Like, this guy got fucking wrecked. This guy got totally destroyed. And he's not even been convicted of a crime. Like, what more could you want? Like, he's got destroyed by the court of public opinion. It's 2024. Is it not okay to go, okay, well, Kevin Spacey probably won't be fucking touching up people anymore, right? Yes, there was some misconduct, but fucking let him into his con. What does it matter? Like, do you think he's going to just be a fucking, you know, this is homophobia, if anything. This guy is trying to claim that Kevin Spacey, a homosexual man, is going to come to the convention and rape everything that he's going to be wearing the Rape Everyone and Leave t-shirt.
Most people, if you asked them what horror movies Spacey had been in, would probably space on an answer. Which the answer being is that he has been in exactly one horror film. 7, which was the primary visual theme of the convention, as they really emphasized that they had gotten Spacey as a guest by having all of the staff at the convention.
Okay, why are we acting?
That's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
Thank you for the $2. No, he's not a regular horror movie actor, but he was in one of the best horror movies ever made and played the role of one of the best horror villains in the history of horror movies. Like, that's a massive get. You know, yeah, you get some people that have been in a bunch of horror movies as the bad guy, right? I mean, who do you normally get? You get like fucking, oh, this guy played Michael Myers in Halloween 3. He wasn't in Halloween 3. Fuck. He played Michael Myers in The Latest Halloween. Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, he put the mask on. Right, now I recognize him. It's just some muscle-bound freak on roids that you don't even fucking know.
But how do I make money?
Whereas this is Kevin Spacey. Yo, thank you for the 1,000 bits. Appreciate it, Hot Girl Pocket. I corrected myself. I know, that's one of the masks. I remembered, okay? Like, yeah, if I went to a horror convention, right, you can either meet fucking, you know, Robert Englund, that would be kind of cool, I guess, or you can meet the random muscle guy that played fucking Michael Myers that one time, or you can meet Kevin Spacey. Kevin Spacey, let's fucking go.
Being marked by having these bright red shirts on them that read, "What's in the box?" The photo ops with him were a staged event with a desert backdrop, where you could get on your knees in front of Kevin Spacey, with your head through a hole that they had cut in a cardboard box that he was holding. You can't actually make that up. People were lined up for hours.
Okay, what do these people think he's gonna do? That's quite funny. But what do they think he's gonna do? Do they think he's gonna be like, after everything that's happened, the guy's gonna get up and he's gonna be like, nice cock, and just rub his balls like he's accused of doing to others? He's going to turn them around and just start raping them in front of everyone. Bro, these people are crazy. It's like they claim to believe in like rehabilitation and stuff like that. And it's like, do you really think that Kevin Spacey is now in a position where he's going to continue to act inappropriately and engage in misconduct and stuff? Obviously not. To me, it's like he served his time in the court of public opinion. There was no time to serve in prison because he was never convicted of a crime. Let him have his little photo opportunity. And also, if anything, this is like a part of his fall from grace, having to go to some fucking shitty con, right? Because he's got nothing else that he can really do at the moment because no one will fucking have him. God, these people just, they want complete and utter life destruction and ruination. Nothing else will do, okay? Kevin Spacey isn't even allowed to go to some shitty horror con to try and earn a couple of fucking bucks, right? He needs to be fucking raped and dead in a ditch before they're happy. It's fucking shocking, dude.
Over the course of 3 days to pay Kevin Spacey, whose assets are estimated to be worth between $16 and $20 million, $300 each to get on their knees in front of him, after the announcement in January of his inclusion at the convention. Mad Monster, as most people sadly do when they are being publicly criticized.
Okay, all these people that say this, I'd love to know what they know of the Spacey situation. Because I do not believe that you can have a good faith investigation and look into what happened with Kevin Spacey and come out concluding that he needs to be destroyed forever. It's fucking absurd.
refused to cancel Spacey's appearance, instead deciding to double down and buckle up for a rough ride. They stopped posting on their Twitter and locked all of their comments, instead deciding to focus their promotion on the more pedestrian and less socially vocal social media platforms, like Facebook and Instagram. On those platforms, they reportedly began to block anyone who said something negative about their decision or the convention, one of which was the drag queen Naomi Monroe. According
Okay, interesting. Drag queen, okay.
to WCCB Charlotte, one fan of the convention who had been going for years named Will Kinsler, who you may know as being involved with sports video games, was blocked by the Mad Monster page for expressing his concerns, and would later tell reporters, "I was dumbfounded, right? Shocked. I was disappointed immediately. It doesn't
What do these people think Kevin Spacey is going to do? I don't understand. Do they think he's going to go and rape and molest people? Or are we still punishing him for alleged crimes that he committed over a decade ago at this point? In some cases, much longer than that. Again, never convicted of a crime. Not even found liable in a civil court, which has got the lower standard. What more could you fucking want, dude?
doesn't make me interested in attending this time or ever again. To invite somebody with these sorts of allegations of sexual misconduct surrounding them into what feels like our home of our
I would let Kevin Spacey grab my cock for a joke. He was Keezer Soze.
Very true. They give it 333.
Our community allegations of sexual misconduct surrounding them.
To invite, okay. So if someone has just got enough allegations surrounding them, that's it. They're done then. Is that how it works? God, fuck me, dude. This is what I mean about saying it's fine to have an opinion about someone, about what you think they did or didn't do. But this call for your social consequence like this is crazy when you consider that there's no legal case at all against him that's been proven. Like, bro, it's fucking mental.
Into what feels like our home of our community. You know, it was really concerning. It feels like a bit of a betrayal, right? I just wanted to tell them I don't think this is right and I don't like it. And now they've kind of taken my voice away from me. I'd hate for people to see this, that don't know and feel like we're a different kind of community than we are. And that we would welcome somebody in our community that's accused of doing these things that he's doing is disappointing for me. That somebody might find that that is a reflection on us. And I want people to know that that's not the case at all. They would also delete any negative comments on their posts so that it looked like everyone universally supported what they had been doing. They posted a clip from House of Cards onto their Facebook page, where Frank Underwood confronts a homeless man who has been accused by the police and is suffering from a psychotic episode where he tells him, "Nobody can hear you. Nobody cares about you. Nothing will come from this." They also posted on their Instagram story an image of Spacey with the text, "Nobody cares about you." One major convention manager of a different event, who will go unnamed here, criticized their decision by saying, "As convention organizers, it's so important that we look at the big picture. People watch us. They watch what we're doing, and who we put our dollar behind. Hiring on performers and celebrities is an endorsement, not just of them, but of what they've done over their lives."
No, it's not. What the fuck are you on about? How is it an endorsement of everything they've ever done in their fucking life, dude? What the fuck? So you've got to be certain that no one's ever done anything wrong in their life where you can't hire them. How is it an endorsement of everything they've done in their life? That's crazy. That is demented. That is totally fucking demented. I know. Listen, bro, I don't know if we're going to watch all of this. But, dude, I have obviously been covering the Kevin Spacey stuff recently, so it's quite a fun crossover for me.
Another convention called Days of the Dead posted on their social media a great little piece announcing that Ian Wyatt would be at their event in January.
Who? Who? Oh my god, you can meet the guy in the Predator suit. Okay, if you've got two options. Option one, I can meet Kevin Spacey. Or at least have a photo opportunity with him, right? Or some dude that was in the Predator suit for a movie. Bro, dude. Oh, wow, you're in the Predator suit. Wow, I'm sure you're a very interesting person to talk to. Fuck off, dude. Ian White. Who even is this guy? Yeah, exactly. God, imagine that. That'd be fun. Ian White. Oh. Okay, he's got a Wikipedia page here. Also, guys, he was in Aliens vs. Predator. the worst fucking movie of those series. Yeah, man, I'd love to meet the guy from the shit movie. Glupsuto. Oh my god, that's good. Yeah, Glupsuto.
saying that he was going to be the only predator at Days of the Dead.
Hi, everybody. It's Kevin Spacey here, your mad monster, coming to Concord, North Carolina, February 16th through the 18th. That's right, all 3 days, and I'm looking forward to getting there. Also, while I got you, just want to take a moment and thank all my fans for all your support through all these years. It's meant so much to me, and I hope you can make it, because it'd be nice to meet in person.
And the thing about all
God, dude. Right? Obviously, this is part of the fall from grace for Kevin Spacey. Like, it's so crazy. This guy was at the fucking... This guy won an Oscar, for fuck's sake, dude. What, bro? This guy's a fucking Oscar winner. And he's knocking about at some convention with unwashed retards. Right? And clearly he's a broken man, recognizes that he's at the bottom of the fucking pile. He's at the bottom. He was like an A-list actor, now knocking it about at fucking cons. And now he's putting out this message. I'm going to be in fucking, you know, some sort of gay con somewhere in the middle of fucking America. Dude, man, that's still not... Nothing but complete and total destruction. Dead and raped in a ditch. Dead and raped in a ditch. Dead and raped in a ditch. That's all that is allowed. That's it. You can't even go to a con without some soy freak shitting on you. Oh, dude, it is insufferable. Look at this guy. He's been fucking buck-broken. Look at him. Doing a con, the lowest of the low. Fucking hell, man. That's rough.
And I hope you can make it, because it'd be nice to meet in person.
And the thing about all of this is that for security reasons, Spacey was never once actually seen on the convention floor itself. He did not have a table, he did not take selfies, he did not do a Q&A. It was like he wasn't even there. They just had him locked in the back like he was the fucking Wizard of Oz, for staged photographs, because anything else could have exposed him to uncomfortable questions. And to that, I just gotta ask, if he isn't even going to be participating in the convention itself, why ruin your own reputation and name by having him there? Why choose to die on this hill? Because despite him not physically being seen, just him being in the building for 3 days lingered over the event like a haunting spirit. The vibes of this place were truly awful. Because they booked him, it resulted in many...
So he wasn't even present on the floor. Well, who cares then? Why are you so fucking bothered? Spacey was haunting the venue. What is this? Yes, I 100% believe in rehabilitative justice, unless you commit one of the bad crimes that I don't like, and then I think you should be skinned alive. I really don't get it then. So he wasn't on the fucking posters, but he was a special guest there, but he wasn't even present, and he only did this little photo opportunity that he was there to do. But you're still finding a way to make a big fucking deal about it and moan about it. That's not a lolly, is it? Is it? Is it? Edgar, what? Edgar. Edgar sent me this. Edgar, you fucking pedo, what are you doing? She's fully clothed, to be fair, yeah. Okay, next time, send me something without the anime trash, alright?
Many reputable vendors or guests refusing to even show up, by either not booking the convention or canceling their reservation. And this drastically hurt the overall tone and the experience of the convention itself. The atmosphere was genuinely depressing. I'm not trying to be an asshole when I say this, but one of the biggest guests that they could book was Tim Capello, the featured extra from The Lost Boys that plays the saxophone that is only on screen for a few seconds. One of their other major guests was Michael Lerner, who was not Michael Myers in Halloween 6, but instead was that guy's stunt double that was only used in a few shots in the film. I've talked to both of those guys and they're really nice, and I genuinely mean no disrespect to either of them, but even they would probably agree that they are not horror A-listers. They do not draw in crowds. Because they decided to back Spacey, they really had to scrape the bottom of the horror barrel to get anyone to come to this thing. And despite what they would say about having...
Okay, that says more about the other people who are so fucking pathetic that they can't even be thought of to be seen in the same space as Kevin Spacey when he was never fucking convicted of any crime. How is that the fucking con's fault that people are fucking cowards? I don't know, dude. This just seems like a very weak criticism. I mean, maybe there's some point that's going to be made soon. I mean, it's fine if you've got a problem with the con. You didn't like the con. You thought the con kind of sucked. Da-da-da, whatever. Make a piece about it. But dude, like this moral frogging over Kevin Spacey is fucking insufferable.
Having record numbers, the attendance felt completely dead. It really felt like there were about half as many people as there should have been there on a normal year. I mean, we're talking about a convention that not too long ago had Art the Clown and Captain Spaulding in the same room.
Dude, honestly, if I had a choice, I would much rather go and have a fucking cool photo opportunity with Kevin Spacey than whatever the fuck else you could do. Like, okay, great. So there's some dude that happened to be fucking Michael Myers sat there for a little while. I just, what is the value in that? What, for as a stunt double? Or even the fucking Predator guy. Like he was talking about that other con, that the guy that was in Aliens versus Predator. I mean, good for him, right? But like, is it really that big a deal that you can meet the Aliens versus Predator guy? A photo opportunity with Kevin Spacey is worth 10 meetings with all these other fucking nobodies.
Doing a joint clown photo op. They used to have legitimate guests, and by comparison, this thing was a total joke. They only had 23 guests at the show, including Spacey. 5 of them were old retired wrestlers who had nothing to do with horror. One was Taryn Manning, who basically has nothing to do with horror. They had 2 of the Dukes of Hazzard boys. You had Tom Welling and Michael Rosenbaum from Smallville. You had Chaz Palminteri from The Usual Suspects, who was there because of Spacey. You had Tom Cavanaugh from The Flash. There were only a couple of people who actually had anything to do with horror at all, like Shannon Elizabeth. The only other big names they got were Lou Diamond Phillips, who has nothing to do with horror, and Kiefer Sutherland, who was only there for a few hours on one day. And even though I do love them, and I mean no disrespect when I say this, Felicia Rose and Kane Hodder were both also there, which I'd say this in the nicest way possible, but they're basically at every single one of these things, so them being present is neither here nor there. So you can see that by booking Spacey, they totally ruined the show that they were throwing, even being about horror, because
Did they? How is he saying that they've ruined it? I don't understand this. Is he definitively saying that other people didn't come because of Spacey? And if that's true, how is that the fault of the organizer that other people didn't want to come because of fucking Spacey? It just sounds like a kind of shitty con with like one gimmick. I don't know. But anyway, I don't care if you had a bad experience at a con or something. That's fine. I'm just like, okay, are we going to get to the point soon of why you're saying all this stuff? Are we going to get there? Are we going to get to why this is such a big deal to you?
They couldn't get anyone with any major clout who was both respectable and majorly relevant besides those that I've mentioned within the genre to actually show up. Fellow horror YouTuber Cody Leach was actually also at the convention, and made his own videos on his experiences with it. He's a guy that I have not historically agreed with on most things. He listed Midsommar and The Lighthouse on his worst of list of 2019, complaining that horror shouldn't be this pretentious and snooty, his words, not mine, and should focus instead on being entertaining, and not trying to be...
I've not seen The Lighthouse. Midsommar's good though. I thought Midsommar's a great movie. This just sounds like the kind of... I mean, it's just horses for courses, isn't it? Some people prefer, you know, kind of schlocky shit, don't they? Rather than like... I mean, Midsommar is like more of a high-concept movie. Horror movie, right?
Be cute by using art house aspect ratios. Again, his words, not mine. He also did not appreciate the homoerotic basis of the movie, and complained that it was just weird for weird's sake. And to me, just didn't try to appreciate the film on its level. In my personal...
Okay, I mean, like, I would probably disagree with that other guy's movie takes, and probably... But it's just perspective, right? It's a matter of taste. A matter of, you know, personal taste. He's acting like this other guy is really bad for not liking these movies or some shit. This is very fucking pretentious. And I say that as someone who... I've not seen The Lighthouse, but I really liked Midsommar, as I would call it. So yeah, this is a bit of a weird... You know, acting like he's, I don't know, acting like he's retarded for not liking these movies that he likes.
Opinion, he is a deeply unserious critic and can actually be, to an extent, a symbol of what I want the message of this video to be about. Because if you watched his video about Mad Monster Con, you would think it was a great time, a wonderful convention. There is a clear dichotomy between our two experiences, and I think there's something interesting in that. And this ties into this theory that I've had for a long time that is kind of the thesis of this video, and that I think there's actually not one, but two distinct horror communities that do not overlap. One that is more concerned with writing and thinking about how our own experiences and world are reflected through art. A group that overall is less concerned with how much a movie makes at the box office and more with what it is trying to say as a work of art, and how it relates to ourselves and culture as people. And then you have another that is more conservative and traditionally capital A American, and is based more in basic consumerism, and viewing movies strictly as entertainment and nothing else. A group that often gets angry at the very notion of subtext existing within a work of fiction, and views art not as a means to express what it means to exist, but instead that sees the value of creation just within the context of how fun an experience that product is. And product is the right word with what it is trying to say as a work of art, and how it relates to ourselves and culture as people. And then you have another that is more conservative and traditionally capital A American, and is based more in basic consumerism, and viewing movies strictly as entertainment and nothing else.
This is like a pretentious soy freak, isn't it? Well, I've got a deeper understanding because you're conservative. You know, you don't have a deep understanding like I do, and you just view it as a consumerism. You just want an entertaining product. I mean, is that really a consumerist take? I don't think that's a consumerist take. That's just some people have got different tastes, and some people prefer more of a schlocky, simplistic experience, and that's fine. They can go and watch that movie. Just because you like Midsommar doesn't mean that you're like fucking a smarter individual than the conservative takes. It just feels very pretentious and like he's trying to bring politics and shove it in here where it doesn't really exist, right? Because there's a conservative out there who likes Midsommar and probably enjoyed Midsommar, right? And probably got, you know, thought it was a good movie and looked at it in the deep level that this guy's expecting people to look at it, you know? And also, you can have it both. Yeah, you can have it both ways. You can have it where you're like, okay, I kind of like, you know, schlocky. Like, you know, you can watch it on a like, for example, right? The Menu, great movie. Okay, Menu's a great movie. But if you're tuning in to watch like a horror movie and you want to watch like a kind of cheap, trashy slasher, you're going to be disappointed because you want at that time to watch a cheap, trashy slasher. And that's fine, right? But if you want something that is a bit more in depth and a bit more interesting and whatever, then watch that. Like both, you can have both. You can be like, right, I don't really fancy a fucking deep meaning horror movie at the moment. I just want to watch something where a bunch of sluts get slaughtered. Okay, put on fucking final whatever fucking movie. Anyway, this fucking video is infuriating me. We'll watch another few minutes of this, and then I think we'll skip to the bit where he talks about his channel, and then we'll watch the Wendigoon segment.
Group that often gets angry at the very notion of subtext existing within a work of fiction, and views art not as a means to express what it means to exist, but instead that sees the value of creation just within the context of how fun an experience that product is. And product is the right word here, as this side of horror is obsessed with money and defending companies, and even when putting on a mask of pretending to be left-leaning, everything that they do is in the service of capital and big business.
Right, okay. Okay.
I hate to put it in terms like this, but I think deep within the heart of horror at the moment, and the country as a whole, there's a problem of anti-intellectualism raging at people who want art to be more. Or
oh my god, dude, this guy's such a pretentious freak! Final boss of the soy gay male feminists. True.
To stand for something important. A group of people yelling, just let people enjoy things, while the other side argues that we can do better. We can be more. Which is something we are going to get to soon, so just bear with me here. I know this is a long video. In his 33 minutes of talking about the convention and everything that happened around it, Leach fails to mention Kevin Spacey outside of a single joke about the situation over 20 minutes into the video.
Kiefer Sutherland was outside in the actual hallway with his own isolated room. That's that star power right there. The only other person that had that was Kevin Spacey. He was on a different floor for completely different reasons. But
not only that, if we look at this footage that I shot, compared to the footage...
Wow. So you're telling me a dude just didn't really have that much commentary on why Kevin Spacey needs to be flayed alive because he's a sexually aggressive homosexual. And he just made a quick offhand joke about it. His whole segment was doing this overall analysis of like, well, the thing is with Kevin Spacey, should he really be there? And did it destroy the event? Dude, fucking hell. No! You must insert a 10-minute diatribe talking about how Kevin Spacey is bad, actually.
That he shot. You can see that he has clearly framed his angle standing roughly at the exact same spot I was, so as to not show the giant Kevin Spacey banner hanging over the lobby. At another point, he includes a table with some photographs of Spacey near the very end, but outside of that, you wouldn't even know that he had been there based on his video. And you know, I think that people who are in my line of work have a certain level of responsibility to appropriately cover the things that we choose to talk about.
What? I was joking, but he's serious! I was joking, but he was being... No, you must insert the 10-minute diatribe about Kevin Spacey bad, actually.
So in my opinion, making a glowing half-hour-long video about how cool Mad Monster is in the wake of them trying to publicly rehabilitate Spacey's image into a right-wing personality at a convention held in the South, which happened within weeks after he appeared on Tucker Carlson's show, is not a very responsible use of your platform.
Well, yeah, exactly. He said himself that Kevin Spacey was only there for this photo opportunity. So maybe he didn't feel the need to comment because it wasn't a part of his experience. You know, obviously he was doing other things and looking at other stuff and he wasn't particularly interested or concerned about Spacey being there because it was just the one photo opportunity thing that he was doing. Also, why is he talking about the South as if it's like one unique experience across the entire South? But yeah, no, you must insert the diatribe talking about how the man who has yet to be convicted of any crime is actually bad. You must insert the diatribe. You've got to. Otherwise, you're not using your platform responsibly.
And, you know, he did have his complaints about the...
Hey! Thank you very much for the subs. Thank you, Jelly Stars. Thank you. Jesus Christ, man, this is fucking insufferable.
Convention, including talking about the outrageous parking situation in the footage where he actually walks pretty close to my car. He talked about the layout of the convention being not very professional, about the lines being...
Yeah, it's just this absurd idea that conservatives are all retarded automatons who just want to have fucking schlop shoved down their throats. I mean, you know, you get the same in the reverse too, right? You get the fucking new male soy bugman consumer meme too. Right? And it's like, it's apolitical. Okay? Right? It's totally apolitical. People can like shit on different varieties, irrelevant of their political position. Chud, are you fucking retarded? No, Johnny Muzz, you're retarded! You keep saying he hasn't been convicted of a crime, yet you know he had inappropriate relationships with 18-year-old boys when he worked as a famous actor. I've said that he has been inappropriate and engaged even in misconduct. But what I'm saying is not a defense of Kevin Spacey. It's to say this desire to see him completely and utterly raped and dead in a ditch is insane. When, you know, he hasn't committed a crime for us to point to go, well, this is why he's too dangerous to be in the industry. This is why he's too dangerous to kind of participate in these events. There's nothing that you can point to that is clear, like, he can't go to this event for this reason. It's all fucking moral frogging bullshit.
Disorderly, but never once does he have a single word of criticism about Mad Monster as an organization for their attempted rehabilitation of Kevin Spacey as a public figure, or the
Maybe he doesn't care.
He is greatly profiting off this appearance from people who are probably struggling, and honestly, probably can't or at least shouldn't afford the $300 fee that it costs.
Wait, what? So now people irresponsibly paying for a con is now apparently what?
To get into the fact that he is greatly profiting off this appearance from people who are probably struggling, and honestly, probably can't or at least shouldn't afford the $300 fee.
Well, that's their fucking lookout, isn't it?
Became a member.
If someone can't afford to go to a con and they pay for it, that's their own fault. This is crazy. Oh, you're profiting from people that can't afford it. Well, that's up to them. Prepare for something they can't afford, dude.
It costs to get in the room with him for maybe 10 seconds. He then goes on to say that he looks forward to going to Mad Monster Con again next year. But even if you look at some of his footage within his own video, you can just see how dead this place was. Most of my footage was taken from the busiest times of the day, but the majority of the con before noon and after 2 p.m. just felt totally empty. And the depressing visuals that he's showing in his video do not match with his glowing review. I don't want to make presumptions about Leech. I had the opportunity to talk.
Okay, well, what is... Okay. Could it just be that he enjoyed himself, regardless of what your perspective is on his video footage, but he still had a good time? I just don't understand this, like, overall analysis of his video footage. Well, it doesn't match with what you said. Yeah, he recorded some footage, maybe at quieter times, but maybe still enjoyed it. Is this really, like, this big a deal? And he's trying to make this broader point about conservatives for this? Fucking hell, this is insufferable.
Talk with him that day. I saw him walking around a few times, but decided against it. So, we've never actually met. But in his video, there are a couple of red flags that really scream out at me.
Jane and Elizabeth, one of the objects of my youth. If you like really crass comedies from the 2000s before everything got all sensitive, definitely check out Sorority Boys.
So to me...
What the fuck, dude? He made a comment about some crush he had on an actress when he was younger. And recommended some fucking edgy comedy from ages ago. Okay. Right. Okay. Wow, this guy must be a fucking bigot. Lock him up!
He is one and the same with Mad Monster, both spinning content for money while ignoring the potential harm that the event itself might cause. And I'm really not trying to harm-
Harm? What harm is- What harm? These people are so... What harm? Someone explain what the fucking harm is exactly. What harm could possibly be caused by any of this?
Leech's image by comparing his experience to mine. Again, I don't know.
Dude, I'm not sweeping for rightoids. It's not my fault that leftoids are so retarded that they can't actually make good arguments and good points, right? And all they can do is soy the fuck out about irrelevant, trite bullshit that doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things to make some broader point in a fucking stupid, retarded video essay about all conservatives are stupid or something.
Know the man. And to be honest, I don't actually really think that he would be that bad of a guy. Just painfully centrist, seemingly leaning a little towards liberal. Like, he tweets pro-LGBT stuff, anti-racist stuff, but then he says things like, said it before and I'll say it again, right or left, the extreme political people are fucking nut jobs, and I despise a review being a political statement, and I have no clue why politics has to work its way into literally everything, but I despise the fact that it does. So, you know.
Is he going to do the everything is political fucking shtick?
A bit of a mixed bag there to me. I don't want this whole section of the video to just be about him. He's a small example of a greater problem that I think is an issue within horror, which is that the existence of centrist and liberal views, mixed with a love of genre, acts as a shield and breeding ground for right-wing harm within our community. Because, as we will see time and time again throughout this, people who hold these liberal stances will side with conservatives over progressives at every single given opportunity.
Yes, because you're all insufferable retard freaks! Yes! Stop being so insufferable and retarded and maybe we might fucking side with you more!
And will not criticize horror unless it is art house.
You got one guy over here who's like, yeah, I went to this con. It was pretty fucking fun. I enjoyed it. I had a good time. And this guy like, and Kevin Spacey was there. And let me tell you for 10 minutes why that's really fucking bad and harmful. And this guy, oh my goodness. He said he liked this edgy comedy. Oh my God. Who do you think people are gonna fuck? Yeah, I love being fucking finger wagged too for fucking hours. Yeah, I'm gonna go to the lefties.
And also will not stand for other people to criticize horror. You know, I myself have never once in my life described a woman as an object. I think that he should put more thought into the words that he says publicly.
Oh my God. Yeah, man, I'm sure. Damn, why do people side with righties? I wonder why that could be. Damn. Who knows?
And how he uses his platform. But also, he genuinely seems like an alright guy. Which is the issue here. The slow creep of conservatism within all forms of art, and every aspect of life, is marched down a road that is paved by smiling friendly liberals. A centrist view of this event didn't even think that it was worth mentioning the act of harm that was being done here. Because we were just all there to have a good time after all.
What harm? What harm? What harm? These people always point to this nebulous concept of harm. What harm is happening here, dude? I don't think we're going to start to skip this because this is absolutely fucking insufferable. Oh, you're giving the game away. What are you doing? This Cody Leach guy looks like he responded. Who is this dude anyway? Oh, he's got 140k subs. Okay.
But how do I make money off depressed people?
Chud, is it bad that I want Kevin Spacey to put this homosexual's head in a fucking box?
Yo!
This guy, his video, hot garbage.
You mean intellectually? Thank you for the 333 and I disavow. Thank you. Disavow the message. Interesting that you said there's two camps in horror fandom. I agree. One camp builds up others in the community, helps anyone they can, and tries to bring joy and entertainment to people's lives. The other makes videos like this. If you ever met me or stopped me at Mad Monster to have a single conversation, you'd feel ridiculous for everything you conveyed about me here. But seeing this, I'm not ever interested in having that conversation. Yeah, you can just imagine this guy absolutely seething at this dude. And he's probably just like a regular guy. Right? Movies, music, games. Subscribe to the madness. He's the normal dude again. Right? He just looks like a regular guy. Reacted to more of your movie hot takes. Reviewing movies. Dude, I like this guy. He seems pretty based. He seems like the kind of guy you could have a beer with and chat movies about. He's just a regular dude. Yo, I love the Terminator.
Welcome to Movie Brawl.
Oh my god, dude, this is sick! Let's go, Movie Brawl! What the fuck?
All right, everybody, welcome to the first episode of Movie Brawl, the movie podcast discussion show where we discuss our favorite movies, maybe even some of our not so favorite movies, and debate them back and forth on which one reigns supreme. And for this inaugural episode, we're going to be talking about The Terminator from 1984 versus Terminator 2 Judgment Day from 1991. And in the future, it could be sequels, it could be remakes, it could be unofficial rivals like The Exorcist versus The Omen. It could be movies with the same director, movies with the same lead actor. We're going to have some fun, try to find some ways to pit movies against each other and see what comes out the other end. My co-host for this episode
Dude, I'm invested. Listen, I would sit here and watch this for a little bit if I didn't have to. I'm actually like, yeah, fucking Movie Brawl. I'm like, let's go. This is actually fun. Oh, this guy seems based. God, it's just like a world apart, isn't it? Right? And then we go back to this.
Right? It is a mindset of consume the product and ask no questions about how the product was actually made or who was harmed.
More lectures.
I'm in here, and if I see him, I will be very happy to see him. But at the same time, I understand the allegations against him, and that's kind of weird.
Okay, this guy's boring me. Where's this bit here?
I used to hit
I had to pick this part out because I fucking love a conversation about how channels are performing.
200 have a few things new about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre that hasn't already been said, but you could probably have a few new original ideas about the third and fourth movies. I used to hit 200 to 400,000 views per video, and now I'm hitting 50 to 100,000 most of the time, saying the exact same message that I used to say back then. But now I think with more skill than I used to have, with higher production values, And now, every time I make a video, the comments are often swamped with people still living off that meme of an idea, who only show up to say mean things about me and leave, that all started with The Hills Have Eyes. I used to not have that happen. If you go look, literally there is a hostile comment on every single video now within maybe 2 to 3 minutes of posting a new video.
Yep. Welcome to the internet, my friend. What is this, dude? Oh, I heard about this. His take on the Hills Have Eyes apparently was some soy shit, wasn't it? Let's see if we can find it. Hills Have Eyes. It'll probably pop. Oh, for fuck's sake, dude. Hills Have Eyes. It'll probably pop up, right? Oh, here we go. This is it. We got it. The dude. Okay, here we go. The dude currently trying to shit on Wendigoon literally said the inbred cannibals in the Hills Have Eyes are representing Native Americans. Wait, what?
The Hill people can be representative of anything that you want them to be, really. They can be Native Americans, and the hills themselves can be allegorical of them being forced back onto reservations. They can be Black Americans that have for hundreds of years been forced to live within a dehumanizing system that has balances in place that assure that they never get ahead. They can be anyone who has been a victim of hundreds of years of horrifically violent, white, wealthy, educated progress. But the
I thought they were just like weird freaks or something like that. No? I've not seen the movie. Is it a bit like, what's that other, Wrong Turn? Are they similar to the characters in Wrong Turn? Is it a similar vibe? Is Wrong Turn kind of based on The Hills Have Eyes or something? Right, okay. And yeah, the whole point is they're just like weird freaks that live in the woods. They're not supposed to be any sort of race or any sort of racial identity or ethnicity or woke stuff. It's just, here's some weird freaks that people run into and they got to survive, right? Yeah, mutant cannibals or something. And he's trying to make out what the fuck. God, isn't this the definition of like injecting your politics into everything? Even if it's not there, you still need to find somewhere to put it in there. It's like you're reading too much into it, bro. In any case, I mean, it is a clip. It sounds pretty fucking bad. But, I mean, I don't know, man. It sounds pretty cringe. Pretty cringe and gay. So that was the Hills Have Eyes take that you got criticised for, is it?
But how do I make money off depressed people?
Yeah, also, they could be black, they could be native, you know, they could be basically minorities. Well, they're just white, aren't they? Weird white freaks, I thought. Anyway. Thank you for the $2. Appreciate it. It's Mad Max.
Off depressed people.
Thank you for the $2. I want to box this hipster.
Say if you were to go back and look at my recent video on blood tea and red string, within a minute of the video coming out, a man had posted, "I'm just here to see how long it takes him to whine about the racist patriarchy." To which someone else said, "If you dislike his videos so much, why do you watch and comment on them instead of watching something you actually enjoy?" To which he said in return, "'Cause I'm a dick."
Why would you post yourself getting owned like this, and then this dude just being based? I'm a dick. Yeah, exactly. People are dickheads on the internet. This guy's based. John, dude, imagine getting so fucking annoyed about John Brown -UT7UG. Right. John Brown is posting mean comments again. No, not John Brown -UT7UG. Fuck. He's got me again. There's one person that comments on all of my videos. On the second channel, I think. And all he says is, "I piss blood." And that's it. That's all he comments.
This meme of an idea has directly impacted my work, my sense of self, and the videos that I am able to make. And I don't really think that that's fair. There was a month last year where I only made $500 in ad revenue. I can't live off that. The amount of time—
Boo fucking who? We'll make some people want to watch then. Fucking hell, dude. I don't get it. I'm out here being a little drama rat, scraping about in the trash for some drama to talk about, to make a video on. And, you know, well, we don't need to get into it, but, you know, I do okay. I do okay doing that. How do these people making these elaborate fucking things and fail so miserably to make any fucking money? It's crazy to me.
Times that I've almost had to stop making videos since then has been almost monthly.
Good.
I've barely been able to keep this afloat. I've paid my rent late most months for the past year. The cruel...
Well, then you're doing it wrong, clearly. Get a fucking job if you can't afford to pay your fucking rent doing this. Or make more content. Or stream. Oh my fucking God. Does this guy stream? If you've got a channel with like this many subs, streaming is fucking easy money. He wouldn't even need to stream that much. Just a little bit to top things up even. You know, a couple of streams a week. The reality is, okay, nobody would watch him. Well, I don't know about that. He'd probably get some, he'd get some soys watching, wouldn't he? He wouldn't be able to handle live chat. No, that's true. But yeah, I mean, either find new revenue streams, like a live stream, or merch, or fucking, I don't know, do something else content related, or just go and get a job if you can't afford to make ends meet doing this. Pretty fucking simple stuff, no? Basic adulting is too much for some of these people.
And untrue things that you say about another person do in fact have direct impacts on them and the way that people culturally see them. It's why I've pushed my Patreon so much in the past year, even though I know it's annoying as fuck to do. Because it is literally the only resource that is keeping this thing going.
Okay, right. Little idea. I say this a lot. Just ignore it. There you go. There's the magic solution. Okay? You can cut out and ignore about 90% of the stuff that people say about you on the internet, and it won't, if anything, it'll probably make your life better, okay? But you can literally ignore pretty much everything if you don't want to get into it and don't want to fucking argue with people and don't want to monetize the hate or whatever. But these people just can't, they're just like there on their device all the time. Oh, I've just uploaded oh my God, someone else, that guy, what's his name? What was that dude's name again? He's left a comment again. Oh no, he's got me again. Fucking hell, dude. But beyond that, yeah, like make a better product, put out more content, do something else if it's not working, simplify your operation to make more content. There's loads of stuff you can do to try and make the books balance if it's not working. John Brown. John Brown's back again. He says I'm a retard. No!
After what happened. And you could say there's other contributing factors that led to the decline over time. It is true that views have gone down for everyone, but if you look at the hard data, there really is a clear line here with The Hills Have Eyes. I had just come off of one of my biggest hits ever with In Defense of Nicolas Cage, and then my next video after Hills still to this day only has 73,000 views. And I just personally believe that there has to be something that caused that kind of shift. And you know, I know that people have the right to say whatever they want about me, and that maybe it is foolish for—
Wait a second. So is he really trying to blame the criticism he got for having a shit take in one video for the downfall of his channel? Like, yeah, okay. God, this is like, I really fucking hate people that do this, right? They roll the dice on public perception and they give out takes, and then they get mad when a take doesn't go down well. Yeah. If you don't want a take to be received negatively, don't give takes. Don't give perspectives, okay? Don't fucking say shit. Don't make content. Go and do something else. You're clearly not cut out for this, okay? One thing that you've got to learn doing any kind of content is how to roll with the punches and how to have something go down badly, and then you move forward with it and you just keep pushing and keep doing whatever it is you're doing, you know? Either engage with it and address it, don't address it, whatever. The worst thing you can do is moan about it. People fucking hate that, right? People fucking hate it. They're moaning about it, acting like this is the cause of your downfall. Jesus Christ. John Brown. Total John Brown. John Brown has got this guy in the palm of his hand like that.
For a creator to try and fight back against a public response. I have said many times that once you release something, that it is public and no longer fully yours, and I still believe that. But at the same time,
why you moaning,
I do think
bitch?
that a conversation around a work or topic can be wrong or even misguided, which I obviously think happened here. I think it is within my right to talk about this on my own channel. And if you have said these things about me or to me, that is totally within your right to do. But I do want to ask you to consider why you're actually still saying them to me still 2 years later. What point are you trying to make besides baseless general cruelty? Are these your own?
Some people want to be baselessly cruel, like John Brown. And that's fine. Oh, dude, it's so crazy to me that people just fucking ignore it. Like, what is the problem here? If it really is bothering you that much, okay, go and look at whatever it is they're saying to you, and you can normally block out a number of phrases and stop them from commenting in the first place, right? Like block out the hills have eyes or whatever other common thing you see in the comments. I don't know if that really is bothering you that much. It's just so insane to me. This guy is getting a bit of shit for some bad take he had, which is going to happen, and he's not just ignoring it or disregarding it. He's making it central to the failure of his fucking channel. Crazy. And now he's going to get more shit on top because he's made this video. Exactly.
Own genuine original thoughts and criticisms that you have based on my actual words and things that I have done? Or maybe did you read something about me 2 years ago that you thought was funny and that was not actually true, and have latched onto a meme that was not based in fact, that said that I'd become some kind of racist, pro-rape, pro-cannibalist extremist? I have always and will always speak on the idea that horror is about love, and
dude,
that
you can't... Okay. Yes, people will go to the extreme of what you've said in order to shit on you. That's like, it's just, this is the nature of the internet. People are going to do this. Get over it. If you can't handle that, get out of the fucking kitchen and go do something else. Yes, it sucks. It's annoying if you feel your position's being misrepresented, but that's just tough titties. Okay, that's what happens, bro. Fucking hell. Like, literally, it is a get over it situation. That's it. That's all there is to it. Just get over it. No, we're not at the Wendigoon part yet. We're actually just watching a bit where he's complaining about this channel going down the toilet.
This is all about love. If you somehow took away that I actually think that it's a good idea for people to be eaten alive, then I don't know what to tell you. We are just operating in totally different realities. We don't speak the same language. I would argue that maybe you are the one who has changed in their values, and not myself. Or that maybe you haven't thought critically about what you were reading online, about other people. People often say to me when talking about my Hills Have Eyes videos, that I used to not be like that, and that they liked my older work before that, often citing my Return to Oz one, which is always very funny to me, because I talk about Gilded Age capitalist rot, and the benefits of communism, and the tragedy of the genocide of the Native Americans in that video. In fact, I feel like whether it was my video on witches or the treatment of women historically, my video on Lovecraft and queerness, Beksinski and the Holocaust, horror comics and government censorship and attitudes towards sexism, racism, and violence in the 1950s, that my views have never actually changed. Which I think is the necessary thing needed to be a good critic. Perspective. You have to be able to clearly
articulate... Well, the thing is, I've not watched any of this content, okay? The only thing I can guess is maybe when he made those other videos, it wasn't as presented as obnoxiously, or it was more contextually appropriate to apply some of these ideas to the works that he was talking about. Obviously, talking about the Hills Have Eyes and trying to make some point about the plight of minorities is a crazy effort to kind of push in some sort of political perspective in that people probably were a bit perturbed by. You know, this is why I think some people don't get the kind of woke criticism, right? People don't have a problem with, you know, kind of neutral or understandable analysis or views or politics being put into a work or something like that, right? It's when it feels forced and unnatural. That is what people don't like, you know? It's the difference between, you know, the themes of Star Wars being about fascism and the Empire and whatever, you know, all makes sense coherently within the story and it's well written, versus, you know, that fucking trailer that we watched for the pirate game, and this pirate guy all of a sudden mentions capitalism out of fucking nowhere. And it's like, why are you talking about capitalism? You're fucking in a pirate game. What the fuck? That's the difference. And it probably is a similar situation here. And he probably doesn't recognize that distinction. And it's why he can't differentiate why maybe another video was better received because it was more contextually appropriate to make those points and discuss those issues. But when it came to the Hills Have Eyes, it felt very shoehorned in. And people were a bit put off and a bit like, what? This is a bit weird. Why are you talking about this in the context of this movie? You know? And he's still complaining about it 2 years later.
articulate your personal perspective and values in life and in art to do this job. And on that front, I have not changed since I started doing this. I've gotten better at expressing those ideas, but the core has always remained intact. All of my most popular videos back then were just as leftist as the type of content that I do now. The only thing that has changed is the conversation and culture around them, where now I get comments like, yeah, this channel is really good, but the wokeness is all over most recent videos, and really is super distracting and yes, disappointing.
Sounds like you're getting some feedback that, yes, oh my god, I think I've pegged it already. Yes, he doesn't understand the difference between subtly discussing something in a contextually appropriate way and it feeling forced and shoved in. He doesn't get it. And so therefore, he is not going to understand the issue here, and he's going to think, well, hang on a minute, I've talked about this stuff before, not recognizing that something about him has changed and the way he's presenting it has changed, which is putting people off. That's the issue here. From listening to what he's saying, listening to this feedback, you know, and listening to that quick clip of the Hills Have Eyes things. I could be wrong. There could be more context here. I've not looked at all of this stuff. I've not watched all of his videos. But that, I think, is what's happening here. And that's why he's had this downturn.
Can you make anything without going on and on about irrelevant modern social justice shit? These videos have always been the same. If you say these things about me, then please revisit the older ones that you liked before. You'll find that they say the exact same things as the new ones that you hate now. I was sitting in a doctor's office 2 years ago.
The thing is, maybe he perceives it as that, but I would wager that if you went back and watched his old content and then compared it to a new video, it was much more contextually appropriate and understandable in what he was talking about versus other stuff he feels like he's just forcing it in where it isn't really present or valid. That, I think, is the issue. I'm not sure. I've not watched this guy's content. That's what I'm going to go with, though.
Now, mentally dealing with everything that was going on, believing that my career was over, reading comments about what people were saying about me, and just generally, you know, feeling pretty bad about myself, when I read something by a Reddit user going by the name John Latour, who made me so happy that I actually cried.
Also, the other thing as well is people are on the lookout for that too, because it's such a common trope, right? Where you've got a movie and some Breadtube retard comes along and does this kind of like overall analysis of the Lefty themes in it. And people are like, you know, oh my god, dude, like, really? Can't you just speak to the movie on its own merits? Why do you need to do this overall insane analysis of the Lefty themes of fucking, I don't know, Terminator or some shit, dude?
In public reading that, because I felt like it was the first time that someone had publicly seen and understood the situation that I was in, and saying that they
It's literally this. All games are political, says the extremely smart individual who can't tell the difference between Metal Gear Solid, Bioshock, and this picture. Yeah, no, exactly. Yep. Yeah, I get it. I absolutely get it. This guy doesn't, and that's probably why his channel's fucked.
Understood what I was going for and that my treatment had not been fair. One person had said about me, he really is amazing when he can keep from white knighting for women and minorities. When he does that, he starts misinterpreting shit just to shoehorn things into whatever agenda he is trying to push. I lost it when he was trying to defend the mutants from The Hills Have Eyes as representative of the minority underclass and that we should actually sympathize with the horrific rapist monsters. Like, I highly doubt that was the point of those movies at all. To which John calmly responded, if you want to watch horror movies for what they are on the surface level of tension, scares, and kills, that's totally fine. But tons of horror movies are deserving of a more contextual analysis, and many had filmmakers who went into those films with those intentions.
Okay, so this to me, and bear in mind, I've not seen The Hills Have Eyes, so I can't say 100%. Comes across as over-reading into the text to find meaning that isn't really there, right? Unless I'm missing something and the people that made The Hills Have Eyes did do some sort of like, oh, this is actually about indigenous people, I would have thought they were just like, it was just a kind of like, oh, look at these freaks, they're going to kill people and they've got to survive or something, right? I think it was the original that he was talking about, but yeah.
And there's nothing wrong if you don't want to subscribe to a director's views or intentions either, and have your own. If you listen to the commentary on The Hills Have Eyes as well as Last House on the Left, Craven pretty clearly sought to make a statement with those two films. Here are some quotes directly from Craven. When we were doing this, I was always thinking of the whole third world rage against the US and white Western society. Jupiter's speech that he gives to the father's head was basically written from that perspective. I'll watch your cars rust.
Oh, the table has turned. You guys are not sophisticated enough to understand.
It was almost anticipation of the 9/11 rage of other people against us, that we can't imagine they would be as wild and as vicious as they are. I was so struck by how, on one hand, you have this feral family that's killing people and eating them, but if you look at it, they weren't doing anything that much worse than civilization did when they caught them. And I just thought, what a great kind of A-B of culture. How the most civilized can be the most savage, and how the most savage can be civilized. I used the theme in a more conscious way with Hills. I constructed these two families as mirrors of each other. I found it very interesting to look at ourselves, to think of ourselves as having the capacity for not only great good but also for great evil. Craven pretty explicitly does not view either sides as heroes. His goal was basically to strip one side of all of their material and civilized possessions, to show that we are both capable of the same brutality. Let's not forget how we are really introduced to Bob.
Wait a second though, hang on a minute. Is this saying what he was saying in his conversation on this? I'm a bit confused because, you know, that seems to be more of a general statement talking about how humans are capable of brutality or something, right? Regardless of where you come from and stuff like that. It doesn't seem that that's the message he was trying to get across. It seems like he was inserting more into the text than he's claiming he is now, and he was just going by what the director said. It's like a study of the human condition. Yeah, exactly. Well, okay, but there's layers to this, okay? So it's what is it? It's called the death of the author, right? So the idea being that regardless of what the intent of the person that made the piece is, you are allowed to interpret it and engage with it and watch it, you know, however you want to. You don't have to view it in the way or the eyes that the director does, okay? One good example of this is The Matrix, right? So most people would view The Matrix as a cool action movie, right? And they wouldn't even see anything about it. But the director claims that it had themes of trans stuff in there. The red pill representing fucking whatever. You see the world for what it truly is, trans, etc. There's you know, these points they make about it being that. But you can watch it without even worrying about that, and you can just see it as a cool action movie, you know? And I think it's probably the same thing here, right? Like, you can make of it what you want. And there maybe are some deeper themes that you can engage with in this, right? It sounds like they do exist. So maybe there is something to be said for there being a deeper reading of this. But, like, this dude is putting way more onto it than I think even the director had intended, and viewing it in a more extreme way that has, you know, led people to go off this guy because they feel like he's trying to pump too much, you know, so to speak, woke stuff into the analysis.
Once they are actually standing with Bob saying, 25 years I'm a cop, and the worst goddamn precinct in Cleveland. N-words shoot arrows at me, and hillbillies throw dogs off the roof at me. I'm even shot on 2 separate occasions by my own men. But none of these bastards ever come as close to killing me as my own goddamn wife and her goddamn roadmaps and her wrong...
Yeah, the director is saying they were all savage animals. And yeah, like, you know, that isn't a particularly deep theme for a horror movie, you know? That is a theme that you do see in some horror movies, you know, fairly regularly, is this idea that you'll have a judgment, a harsh judgment of the killer, but then, you know, you either see their humanity in some way, or alternatively, you know, your actions trying to survive unlock your own brutality, and you act in a brutal way, you know. And that's fine if you want to view it and look at it in that way. But also, some people just want to watch a cool fucking horror movie, and that's that, you know. And whilst it's okay to have the deeper reading, it feels like this guy had a too deep reading into it and put stuff in there that wasn't really there. And now is trying to use a quote from the director, which is making a point of a deeper reading, to justify his much deeper reading, which wasn't really valid, from what I can tell. Anyway, I think that is, you know, what we're looking at here. And the thing is, If you want to try and look and find stuff that isn't there, then cool. Obviously, you can do whatever the fuck you want. But if you take it too far and put out a take that people think is stupid and excessive based on the text, then obviously people are within their rights to call you a fucking retard and say you're an idiot for ever saying that. I mean, that's just the way of the internet, isn't it?
Turns and her goddamn hysterical screaming. That doesn't sound like a hero to me. Anyways, my whole point is that nobody is wrong for how they watch horror movies. If you watch them because you like the thrill or seeing sweet kills, gore effects, or because you appreciate what some of these films are trying to say about society, and how they can turn a mirror towards us. Horror has always rode the line between entertainment and a reflection of our own sociological fears. And that's why the genre is great, because it has a lot to offer all of us. Needless to say, I also recommend In Praise of Shadows, and hope everyone here has a great day. And John, I don't know you, but if you're watching this, I just want to say thank you, because I was in a really dark place in that time period, and what you said there I know you never thought that I would actually read, but I did, and your words mattered to me. It made such a difference for me that I still think about it. It is...
Oh my god, dude. I mean, look, it's always, look, don't get me wrong, okay? It's always nice to get a positive comment, okay? It's very nice to read something, yeah, okay, and kind of, that was nice of that person to say that. It's nice to get good feedback. But this idea that it would stay with you for all this time, dude. I mean, through the dark times of getting a bit of shit on the internet. I mean, bro, it's just so crazy, dude. Ain't that deep. Just ignore the haters. Take on board the nice comments, and if there's constructive stuff from people that you trust, then implement it. Boom. There we go. Simple.
Still, one of the most important things that a stranger has ever said to me about my work. And it came to me at a time when I was in a really rocky place, and I needed you to hear that, so thank you.
No worries, mate. Can we finally skip to the good bit now? Okay, what is this bit now? I want to skip to the Wendigoon bit, but fuck me, looks like there's some gems in here.
In March of this year, Late Night with the Devil was released to theaters, which came with a fair share of controversy. Normally this would be a film that would make some buzz and then be quickly forgotten about by most non-horror people. But Late Night with the Devil ended up with several major articles written about it in the trades because of its use of supposedly 3 AI-generated title cards that appeared both in the trailer as well as in the film itself. The number 3 has been thrown around a lot, and I don't know if that's ever actually been confirmed.
This is a Breadtube tryout video. Why would... Breadtube is like fucking dead. Why would you want to join on to that? Well, Cornbread Tube is still a thing. The blacks are making hay while the sun shines, just like the good old days. And, I mean, I guess the Noah Samson-esque stuff maybe still has some fucking viewership. He's desperate. Maybe. In fact, that could... Yes, exactly, Jomi. You've got it. Yes. He's desperate. He's desperate for whatever fucking attention he can get. So he's trying to pivot into some more political aspects he thinks he get. Also, it's a fucking hub box as well. So he thinks, until an allegation comes out about him or some other shit happens, until he has the wrong take, until he says nanas and has to get fucking cancelled for that. Oof. This is literally IPOS's trying to do a H1 guy video because he never even talks about any of the Wendigoon. Oh, right. Smaggle. Very good observation. So he's seen H-Bomber Guy and he wants a bit of that action. And he thinks if he does a takedown of Wendigoon, he's going to get welcomed into the fucking YouTube drama, subreddit fucking memes and be celebrated as a creator. Right, okay. That makes sense.
As far as I can tell, that number was stated by one of the directors in an interview, and it seems as if the production team may have been trying to minimize the actual extent that AI was used in their process. This was the narrative that they started, once people got mad at them. And I myself have gone through the film and would argue that there's closer to an upwards of maybe 10 or so questionable images throughout the movie. But for the purpose of this, We will just say that it was 3 pictures. As you can well imagine, there were a lot of people within the horror community who pretended that this was either not a very big deal or wasn't unprecedented behavior, and had
I mean, it isn't a big deal. Is this really an issue? They used a couple of fucking AI images. Oh my god, dude. What? The AI stuff is crazy. AI is very soulless and boring and dumb, and like just sticking in a fucking prompt and spitting something out is never in and of itself going to be a thing that I think people are going to get behind because of how soulless it tends to be. I think AI stuff is going to be best integrated into other things which have got a human touch in some way, right? And and I think that if they used it as a title card for something that you look at for a couple of seconds and it's tweaked, I mean, I'd imagine they didn't just put in a prompt. They probably tweaked it and fucking fucked around with it and worked with it to make it look better. There's probably a human touch to it. But yeah, I mean, if the movie's good and it's just got a bit of AI stuff in that's probably been touched up by someone to make it look better, yeah, who cares? What's the big deal? You know, like using it to spit something out, but yeah. This video is like 3 videos forced together. He just wanted to take down Wendigoon and threw it in here. Yeah, well, I think he's okay. The H-Bomber guy analysis makes sense as well because he's talking about this stuff, and then it's almost like he's tagging on this bit at the end. It's almost like he wants to do the kind of H-Bomber guy, oh, well, actually, guys, this is about Wendigoon, and we're going to take down Wendigoon now. And that's probably why it feels kind of stitched in at the end, because that's the intent of it, right? That's my guess. I'm probably not going to watch all of this because it's too much. But let's watch a bit more, and then we'll do the Wendigoon stuff, okay?
Had many excuses as to why this wasn't good, but also why we should still reward their behavior with our money. BJ Colangelo said, based on the style, the AI was clearly experimented with around the time everyone was sharing their AI profile pics, before we had the widespread, hey, this is bad convo. And they should have replaced it in the years since. I hope they do the right thing and swap those shots, but I've not seen the movie, so I have no idea how quickly they'd be able to do that in an edit. And unlike a multi-billion-dollar company using AI for title cards, I have no idea if they have the money to do so. Richard Newby said, seems highly unnecessary, and I don't like AI, especially when artists are looking for work. But also, I'm not going to boycott an indie movie.
Wait, it was an indie movie as well? Sounds like an exercise just to save a bit of time and money. I mean, if you can implement AI and make it easier to get, say, an indie movie over the line that otherwise is like high quality and very good, so what? That seems to be a positive for me. I'd much rather have good quality indie movies with a tiny bit of AI in than not, because, you know, I mean, I can't really see how using AI would mean a movie gets over the line instead of not. But, well, actually, that's not true. Maybe not for this movie, but I could easily see situations where the implementation of AI could reduce costs that would mean an indie movie is more plausible than not, right? I could see that, definitely. As long as it's done well and stuff. Anyway, this is a fucking gay. This is gay AI shit. I don't care about this. I'll tell you what we're going to do. I'm sick of this now. We're going to go to the Wendigoon. We're doing the Wendigoon segment, okay? Fuck it. We'll do it live. We're doing Wendigoon. We're going to Wendigoon right now. Finally, we're doing it.
Say I want to make a scary story about global warming. Hollywood had a red flag list for people, and I put on your put that say a job and manipulate the company's scares that you
it's around here
into what you were trying to express.
It's around
so that
here.
You can then build a narrative around that. In fact, in my opinion, the actual writing of the script should be the very last part of the process.
244. Here we go.
Current tensions of the American culture
for
profit. They are in this moment no different from the talking heads of Fox News or MSNBC, who get paid to lie 24 hours a day. But I think the biggest argument that you could make about how weak The Hunt actually is as a work of satire comes from something that Blum says to Shapiro in their interview, that I think demonstrably shows how his centrism allows passage for Shapiro's fascism. The hunt is about how the country...
A random clip before we get to the main event. And we're talking about Shapiro's fascism being allowed.
Country is so polarized. You know, I did a lot of research on you before I came in here, because I was told of your views. And I looked at what you've said and done, and all you've expressed is a conservative point of view. I believe a lot of things that are different from you. We probably have many more things that are in common, and share many more beliefs than our political beliefs. And the idea that we can't talk to each other, or that I can't come on your show, makes me furious. The movie really makes fun of both sides.
I mean, what is wrong with what he said there? Yes, Shapiro is just a fairly standard conservative guy. Right? I mean, I don't think he's saying anything that crazy.
This movie does not take sides politically.
Right, here we go. Anyway, now we're getting into it. Here's the bit everyone's talking about.
If you're not aware, Wendigoon is a horror conspiracy theorist YouTuber with several million subscribers that, as you will hopefully come to see, should not be seen as the wholesome, southern-friendly dad persona that he has publicly constructed around himself in the past several years.
I can already tell this is going to be great. Oh, why not? What has he committed? Some sort of crime? Is he a convicted criminal? Is he assaulted, abused, raped, murdered? What is the reasoning we're going to get for why we should not see him as just a regular dude, essentially?
And that, like many people who talk about being Christians as much as he does, has a dark past with deep ties to far-right extremism. On a base level, his work has never been...
Oh my goodness. I've actually heard this before. This is not the first time I've heard this. I've read a couple of Reddit threads about Wendigoon's far-right connections. So I'm excited to see what he's dug up that I haven't seen already.
Been of personal interest to me. We share a similar focus on topics that we like to write about, but our similarities basically end there. I have no need or desire to hear 5 hours of opinions on Blood Meridian from a 21-year-old millionaire who got famous around the age of 19. And I know that is probably the most boomer thing that I have ever said. Apologies for that. But I say that to argue that I really do think that there are some works that are really not intended to hit the right way until we are older. There are some...
Oh my god, dude. This guy is the height of pretension. You're not old enough to understand it properly yet. What a smug prick. And this guy's wondering why his channel's gone down the Swanee. He sounds like a smug prick lecturing you. What a boring fucking loser this guy is. No fucking wonder people don't want to watch this guy if this is the kind of energy that he's bringing to the table. Holy shit.
Works that fundamentally will not be understood by you if you are wealthy and have always been upper class your entire life. And this may all sound condescending, but that doesn't stop it from being somewhat true. I don't mean that to think that you shouldn't be able to say or publish whatever you like at any point in your life. You're obviously free to do so. And I also don't want it to be seen as if I'm talking down to young people, because I'm not. Politically, they are frequently the most with it, and their voices should be heard on issues that pertain to them.
Right, okay, but not this guy, because he's a conservative, am I right?
They're looked down upon too often in our culture. What I'm talking about here pertains to the very act of writing itself, and with that, perspective. And I don't know if you can actually really truly be a good cultural critic with a voice that has a definitive perspective, without several years of genuine, independent, lived experience away from the home that you were raised in. And in his case, he became exceptionally wealthy by the time that he was 19 or 20. And so if you leave the home and immediately become famous and rich, without having to ever actually truly struggle, can you be considered to have ever actually had lived experience at all that would qualify you to give criticism on works of art about...
What qualification do you need to give your perspective on a work of art? Like, what has Wendigoon said that's, like, wrong or you disagree with on something? What analysis is he... All he's saying is, well, he's young, he's wealthy at a young age, presumably he's going to get into the conservative stuff. But what is he actually wrong about, or what has he missed? Yeah, you cannot possibly comment on art unless you're a homeless communist gay. That's it. You need to have sucked 50 dicks, be living in a cardboard box, and be a communist to give actual commentary about art. This feels like an extension of Well, conservatives can't actually do comedy. They can't do comedy, actually, which is not true. Oh, conservatives? Yeah, they can't actually give criticism on art. That's not possible. Conservatives can't do this. Conservatives can't do that. Why? That's complete bullshit. What do you mean conservatives can't do this, that, and the other? Of course they fucking can, right? Just because someone has got a certain political view doesn't mean they can't make decent art or good comedy or give criticism on something. What is this fucking take, dude?
About the experience of average and poor people? I would argue not. And if that is the case, why would your perspective matter as a critic? Not to mention the fact that Wendigoon was raised in a very wealthy family, and with that comes from a wealthy perspective. He himself has inadvertently admitted that his family at one point had millions of dollars, when he said once on stream, "Would you believe me that when my dad was young, he used to be in an organized crime gang, and is now a Sunday school teacher. Very wild life that guy's lived. He was in an organized crime gang that my grandfather ran. A lot of bad things went down. They got investigated by the FBI. My grandpa went to jail. My dad had to testify, and tried to take up the business. The business fell apart, and he ended up losing millions of dollars to the state. Lost everything, found God, became a Christian, and is now both the best man and the best Christian I've ever met. But also, I'm not even here to criticize his body of work.
Wait, that just sounds like, that sounds more of like a religious aspect, right? Like no one is irredeemable, right? Even someone that's committed terrible crime can come to Christ or whatever. I mean, obviously, I'm not into all of that stuff, but, you know, from his perspective, presumably he is, you know, talking about the value of redemption, right? Via religion, in his case, because he's a religious guy. Oh, yeah, wholesome story about his dad turning his life around, making the commie seethe. Okay, I mean, what's the problem with that story? Sounds like, I mean, you know, bit of a rough upbringing potentially in some cases. I don't know. Anyway, okay, well, his dad. Okay, let's
I think his
continue.
videos are very uninteresting, but ultimately that is secondary to what makes him worth talking about. The first of which are the very strong beliefs that he seems to hold as important, that are in my opinion the antithesis of what horror should be about. There are many.
His political views are the antithesis. Who? What? Why do you get to decide that? Horror is a very broad genre. Horror can be about a lot of things. Horror can be about whatever you want it to be. You could do a horror movie from a kind of rightoid perspective. I don't know, the fucking bad guys are all, the killers are Muslim. I don't fucking know. But you know what I mean? You can have whatever perspective you want. It doesn't have to be one particular ideology or perspective on it.
Things that are red flags that we could talk about, from the bizarre gun ownership, the flagrant
that's
use.
Wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
Hey, thank you for the super chat. He couldn't even get Wendigoon's age right. What a great level of research from wannabe SOYRAGES guy over here. Has he got the age wrong, has he? What does he mean bizarre gun ownership? What?
Old as important, that are in my opinion the antithesis of what horror should be about. There are many things that are red flags that we could talk about, from the bizarre gun ownership.
There are many things that are red flags that we could talk about, like the bizarre gun ownership for an American conservative Christian. Apparently that's bizarre. How is that bizarre to own a gun, particularly with how he's grown up and stuff? What is bizarre about it? He just owns a gun. Right? That's kind of fairly normal for a guy with his upbringing, though. And it's America too. You guys love your guns over there. Okay. Anyway, maybe explains it.
There are many things that are red flags that we could talk about, from the bizarre gun ownership, the flagrant use, from my perspective, of his religion as a shield from criticism, to the belief that he at one point followed many far-right accounts on Twitter from.
Oh my God, Carl Rittenhouse. He's really referring to Carl Rittenhouse as some right-wing account that's insane to follow.
Carl Rittenhouse to Parler, the social media website where the January 6th insurrection was in part.
Guys, this guy followed Carl Rittenhouse, someone who is probably one of the most famous recent cases of self-defense that happened, and also Parler, a big right-wing social media app that fucking at one point, There's literally nothing wrong with following any of those fucking accounts. Any account. You can follow whatever fucking account you want. The reincarnated corpse of Adolf Hitler could come back onto this earth and start a Twitter account, and you would not be wrong for following that account. What is this follow policing fucking bullshit? Who cares about who he followed? I expected to follow right-wing shit because he's a right-winger as well. So what? Who cares?
Planned. People said, oh, he only followed them. But that doesn't mean that he agrees with them. But there are screenshots of tweets that may have been deleted. They clearly, in my mind, show a support to Rittenhouse.
Yes? Oh my god, dude, he has got the update, has he? He thinks it's still right wing and bad and white supremacist and shitty to fucking think Rittenhouse is. Yes, there's nothing wrong with that. If you are a right winger, a centre right winger who cares about self-defence, will be supportive of Rittenhouse, okay? You could be very centre-right and think that. You don't have to be this far-right insane person to look at the Carl Rittenhouse situation and go, yeah, this lad acting in self-defence, even if I criticise this, he acted in self-defence and that's good that he was cleared on that because he did act in self-defence. Yeah, Rittenhouse did nothing wrong. Exactly. Legally. You can be on the left and think that too, exactly. Fucking hell, dude, what an insane take.
Although, since I did not take these screenshots, they do have to be taken with a grain of salt. But in relation...
The moment it was announced not guilty on all counts, what are we trying to discern from this? The guy was happy that a person who presumably he thought acted in self-defense was found to have acted in self-defense. Okay? Right? And what's bad about that exactly? What's wrong with that precisely?
Since I did not take these screenshots, they do have to be taken with a grain of salt. But in relation to everything else that we're going to talk about here, to me it seems to fall in line with his general beliefs. These have been widespread across the internet, and to my knowledge, I can find no examples of him directly saying that these are not real. So he may or may not have actually followed these accounts or supported them. But
God, it's so funny the way they talk about this. I mean, first of all, as Smagler's pointing out, yeah, the research here is exceptionally lacking, right? He can't even firmly state something because he hasn't checked to make sure the facts of the matter, which is stupid. But he's talking about it as if it's like some crime, that he's followed some accounts that are right-wing. But you can't even verify it, so we can't say it strongly. Well, he may or may not have followed Carl Rittenhouse. I can't say for sure. As if it's like a bad thing to worry about in the first place, dude. Oh boy, we're off to a rough start. Let's see how it goes.
I do not believe that he has ever outright said that this did not happen, so take that as you will. We could talk about his past and supposedly being a founding member in an online conspiracy theory group that, according to him, snowballed out of control into being a white supremacist neo-Nazi organization called the Boogaloo Boys. His online username at the time was Boogaloo Boy, and he claims to be the first to have started using it, but that he left the group and became Wendigoon after things started to get out of hand. And...
okay, and you're trying to use that against him? Why? So he is recognizing that this thing he was part of got out of hand, and he left because it was too extreme for him then, and that's a point against him somehow? Is that not a point in his favor? That when a movement started going too extreme for him, too extremist, he fucking left? How is that a point against the guy? What? What are you on about? Isn't that what you want? These people can't win, can they? You can't leave a group if you think it's becoming more extremist without still getting in trouble for that act. Fucking hell, bro. This guy's pathetic.
This is not a conspiracy theory in itself. Shockingly, he literally has said so in writing. As you'll see, he was just like, oh geez, sorry guys, about starting a violent hate group, guys. Sorry that people got killed. I totally didn't mean to do all that. My bad. I'll do...
Who's been killed? What? What's this? Where's any information that you can show us about these claims that he's making? He's not proving anything he's saying. He's just saying, oh yeah, well, he's started this group. And there's nothing to back that part up. Just a little article we didn't really see properly. And now he's trying to link his starting of this group to some death that apparently happened. That, again, he's not showing us. And what, he's solely responsible for everything that happens off the back of this. Dude, this is such an insane standard that we're expecting from this guy when he left this group when things apparently got out of hand. But he's still apparently responsible because he was there at the start. Fucking hell, dude.
Do better next time. Also, it should be noted that the Boogaloo Boys are known for wearing Hawaiian shirts. And guess who else always has on a Hawaiian shirt, despite the fact that he publicly totally does not share in their beliefs, guys.
Oh my god, he's wearing a Hawaiian shirt! We got him! We got him! He hates the J-Boys! He wants to do another H-cast. Fucking dude. Also, you're wearing a Hawaiian shirt. Does that mean you associate with it? Or is it just because it's for a bit, it's okay? I'd imagine that he probably wears a Hawaiian shirt. It could be related to the Boogaloo Boy aspects, because one of their things is the fact that they wear Hawaiian shirts, right? But he liked the idea of wearing a Hawaiian shirt for his content, but he obviously doesn't want to be associated with that group anymore, but he still wants to wear a Hawaiian shirt because it looks nice. He likes the way it looks with style. I don't know. Okay, I do. This is totally bemusing to me. I don't even really know what the point is here. So because he wears a Hawaiian shirt and he apparently started of his own accord, you've not proven any of this, by the way, a group which turned into a hate group, which he left, which then apparently killed people, and then therefore he's bad because he's wearing a Hawaiian... How many steps have we removed from any sort of reasonable criticism of Wendigoon's actions here? It's insane.
I'm just saying that if at the very least I, in any way whatsoever, somehow accidentally, inadvertently, started a hate group, I wouldn't continue to still dress out accidentally.
So now he's showing us evidence, but he stood in the way, so I can't even fucking read it. Alright, so I'll go ahead and make my official statement. Over 2 years ago, I was the first to begin using the term Boogaloo.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
To quote Office Space, why should I change? He's the one who sucks.
Thank you for the $5. Oh, he reads it himself, okay.
Inadvertently started a hate group. I wouldn't continue to still dress like them if it were me. It would make me look like I still believed in their cause, and that I just couldn't talk about it because people would publicly get mad at me. If I accidentally started a hate terrorist organization, I wouldn't rebrand as a horror YouTuber the next year.
So, where... Okay. It's such a big claim to make. God. How do people fucking get away with this shit, man? So claiming he set up a hate terrorist group organization. It's such a crazy claim.
And instead would try and fight that ideology as much as I could. And if I didn't do that, then it would probably be fair for people to assume that I still agreed with their actions. At one point, he posted on his subreddit and wrote, "Someone asked me about my old Boogaloo Boy persona, so I made my response and thought I'd share it to set the record straight. Again, I hate being political, but I wanted to clear this up. Love y'all, thanks." The statement that he included with this read, "Alright, so I'll go ahead and make my official statement here, because better to come straight from me. Over 2 years ago, I was among the first to begin using the term Boogaloo. Originally, it was a rendition of Che Guevara's, not that he was a good person by any means, code word for revolution, and I have always been a proponent of freedom and liberty. I believe in the divine rights of every human, and therefore, aspects of self-independence are important to me. So I began using the word in small settings, and then decided to make a meme page using the name as no one had yet done so. To give you an idea, my name was Boogaloo Boy, and several have pointed to me as being the original and started the Hawaiian shirt thing, as I've always just worn those shirts. However, as the term became mainstream, more ideas began to come into the group. Everything from Antifa members to fascists wanted in on it, and the original idea became muddled and broken. I always meant it as a for the people thing, yet it quickly became something else. To give you an idea, I watched the same news station call it a far leftist movement and a far right movement in the same day. It became something I didn't want to be a part of, and so I left. I dropped the name, took a break, and decided to talk about things I enjoyed like conspiracies and movies, under the new title, Wendigoon. It was something I acknowledge, but am not a part of anymore for what it became. Some of my current followers and friends were with me then, but I'm not a part of that anymore.
I mean, to be honest with you, if anything, it
Okay,
sounds
that's
like
wonderful.
he's taking
But how do
more
I make
responsibility
money
for it than he
off
really needs
depressed
to
people?
anyway. This is just jealousy disguised as righteousness. True. Because, I mean, yeah, I don't know, man. I'm like, you don't really seem that responsible for anything. You just, you know, allegedly came up and used this terminology. And maybe some people saw that and imitated it. Okay. I mean, what? So what? And then apparently people have taken it and gone crazy with it and you decided to not leave. I mean, what? This statement is excessive, if anything. I don't really think you even need to make this statement on it. But I can understand why he did it. I get it. But, I mean, it just seems like, do you really even have anything to answer for in the first place? Yeah, it just seems very, very cringe. Very, very cringe. The fact that now this is being used against him is insane. Like, he left, didn't want to be associated with something that he felt was spinning out of control. And yet we're still trying to hang this around his neck, and we're using this insane terminology to claim that he set up like a far-right movement that ended up killing people, essentially. Bro, what you want about, dude? He wore Hawaiian shirts and clearly had some political views that got spun out of control and some people took forward and did something else with, allegedly. But again, you know, no evidence, no proof, nothing to back anything up. Another aspect, I mean, links in earlier, like nothing can be good enough. Wendigoon has to be lying dead, raped in a ditch, and that's the only thing that's acceptable. Anything else, no, we have to be completely critical, and every turn must shit on him for one thing or another. Crazy.
So, do you remember when armed men were arrested a few years ago for planning the kidnapping of Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmire? That was the Boogaloo's. Do you remember when white people showed up at the George Floyd protests and caused property damage and violence in the hopes that black people would be blamed for that? That was the Boogaloo's. A great deal.
Wait, he's just showing video footage. He's not actually proving anything of anything here. Star Witness. Whitmer kidnapped politics. Wanted Boogaloo War to stop Biden. Are you really trying to link whatever the fuck this is to Wendigoon?
Do you remember when white people showed up at the George Floyd protests and caused property damage and violence in the hopes that black people would be blamed for that?
Well, I mean, I don't know enough about that. People are saying, listen, people are saying things in chat. I don't know what this was. There's lots of people saying it turned out it was the feds. Is that true? Is there anything I can look at on this? Because he's not showing anything. Kinda true. Yes. Yes, literally. Okay. No, not all the BLM riots. There's a specific event that he's referring to here. Yes, look up Gretchen Whitmire. Oh, Gretchen Whitmer. Where can I find the thing? I'm sure it's got its own heading somewhere. Oh, here we go. Kidnapping plot. Wait, so this is the Fed thing. Is this right? On October 8th, 2020, a federal indictment against 6 men associated with the Wolverine Watchmen, a Michigan-based militia group, was unsealed. The indictment charges the men with the plot to kidnap Whitmer and violently overthrow Michigan's government. Wait, Wolverine Watchmen? So this isn't anything to do with the Boogaloo Boys then, right? Hey? So even that claim is stupid in and of itself. The FBI became aware of the scheme in early 2020 after communications among the far-right group were discovered and via an undercover agent who met with more than a dozen individuals. Okay. So there's an FBI agent involved. Wait. In the wake of unseen indictment, she called on seeking to depraved men. In April 2022, 2 men were acquitted on all charges on grounds of entrapment by federal authorities. Wait! Yo, that's crazy. Although others were convicted, so it is a mixed bag. But some of them were entrapped by federal authorities. That's crazy, dude. That's funny. That's pretty interesting. Anyway, so the feds are involved, and at least some people ended up getting off on entrapment. Lawyers, FBI lured men for Michigan government kidnap plot. For 2 of them, that turned out to be true, and it's now a matter of law, public record. Anyway, trying to associate this with Wendigoon via the Boogaloo Boys is retarded, because this is apparently another group that was associated with this. So, yeah, very bad research once again from this dude.
That was the Boogaloos. A great deal of their members were spotted in the Capitol during the January 6th insurrection. In 2020, they killed several police officers in a drive-by shooting in Oakland, hoping that black people would be blamed for the violence, in an attempt to create racial tension. The reason they use the word Boogaloo is in reference to a meme that says Civil War II Electric Boogaloo, obviously in reference to the 1984 film Breakin' 2 Electric Boogaloo.
It feels like this dude has just read through the, what is it called? You know, they're like the hate, they do pages on hate groups and stuff, right? It feels like he's just fucking read through the front page of that and he's gone, right, okay, Boogaloo Boys, yeah, da-da-da, and just fucking noted it all down. Like, this is very basic stuff, right? It's like very base level shit that he's getting into here, acting like it's some grand revelation of what this is, you know, the memes about this. The ADL, yeah, he's gone and looked at the ADL. ADL Boogaloo Boys. Sounds like there's some bad news here. Boogaloo, Electric Boogaloo. Oh, there we go. Boom, write that down there. And then he's put it in his video like it's some sort of grand revelation. And then he's trying to link it to fucking Wendigoon, even though Wendigoon's got literally nothing to do with any of this.
Okay, so let's take a closer look at some of the phrasing of his official statement. First off, I have tried and failed to find any connection to the word Boogaloo to Che Guevara. In fact, when you Google Che Guevara Boogaloo, you just get things related to Wendigoon. When you type in Che Guevara word for revolution, you get things related to Wendigoon. Che Guevara died in 1967, and the earliest example of the word Boogaloo that I can find was in 1966, in relation to the musical style. So I would wager that that is more than likely a lie, to cover his actual intentions and sympathies that he held as a seemingly radicalized teenager. According to the Center for Strategic and International Studies, the word Boogaloo began to appear in online forums.
What'll I fucking tell you guys, eh? I've got this guy fucking figured out already!
Related to hate content on 4chan somewhere between 2010 and 2012, when, you know, Wendigoon would have been about 10 to 12 years old. Specifically, I have seen multiple times that it is believed to have been born on gun-related forums. I can find no evidence that within their organizational structure, that they have any allusion to their values starting or being connected to Che Guevara in any capacity. So claiming he was the first to start using it, or among the first, is not true, and is frankly a bizarre claim to make. But
yeah, I mean, it feels like he's accepting more responsibility than he maybe has to there. I don't know. I just feel this is insane, excessive analysis of a situation when clearly he was getting heat for getting connected to this stuff that he didn't feel was fair. So he wanted to, you know, really distance himself from it, you know? I just don't think it's that deep, you know? Like, this whole part of this is trying to create a connection between Wendigoon and the Boogaloo Boys. So, you know, to sort of smear Wendigoon. But I don't really care about that. I'm like, okay, so he was part of this group, decided it was going too far and then he left. Job done. Who cares anymore? But now he's trying to create this connection, and now he feels he's made this connection. He can do this excessive analysis of his statement, when to me his statement is like, who cares? Yeah, so he made a statement saying he's not part of it anymore. That's adequate for me. But this guy's got to dig into it to point out how bad it is, to try and demonstrate that, no, actually, he does still support the Boogaloo Boys. When, from what I can tell, it seems like he's just a kind of conservative right-winger, and that's it. Yeah, this is like a left-wing Alex Jones
By
video.
the time
true.
he would have made his Boogaloo Boy username, the word would have already had a near decade of being entrenched into the deepest layers of alt-right internet radicalized extreme racism. He wants to simultaneously be
Is that in reference to 4chan?
seen as distance from the organization, but still dresses like them on a daily basis, and fully takes responsibility in claiming that he started their movement. There was already—
Someone said it earlier. This is like the OK sign all over again, right? Excessive analysis of him wearing a fucking Hawaiian shirt to see things that probably just isn't there.
in motion at least 7 or so years before his involvement, which to me just kinda seems like he enjoys taking the credit for that. As historically, he already had an out that he was in middle school when it truly actually began. And if he's lying about these things, it just makes me wonder, what else is he lying about? And the difficulty in seeing the lies in between the things that are—
So, you know, I do agree that if someone is lying about something, it can lead you to question other things they claim. But it's such a trivial issue that I just don't really see why you would think he's lying about other stuff. Like, what? It's not like he's lying about something super important. It's if he is lying, it's about something very trivial. So who fucking cares? To think that maybe there's other stuff he's lying about. God, this guy's infuriating.
are true is always the point with these kinds.
I'm actually under this. I'm actually wearing a swastika, a big swastika, with and on the back it's the entirety of Mein Kampf in very small text.
Of people who say, for instance, that they do not believe in far-right hate while doing something else at the same time, such as wearing a distinctly coded Hawaiian shirt that would be understood by the initiated. As Jared Thompson puts it, who works
Oh
with
my
the
god! We've got the dog whistle shit again. Oh man, I thought this discourse was over, man. So, dog whistle is the most retarded concept going. So, basically what we've got then is Wendigoon is wearing a shirt that someone on the alt-right is going to understand, okay? And everyone in between is not going to know what it is. They're just going to think, oh, he's wearing a Hawaiian shirt. So what does it matter then? So the truly initiated are going to understand that this guy's a far-right, fascist, whatever, if we were to accept this as true, which is retarded anyway. But anyone that doesn't know about it isn't going to know. And is just going to think it's a Hawaiian shirt. So what then? What does it matter? Fuck me, dude.
Threats project that focuses on the evolution of digital terrorist networks. Boogaloo memes and slang are often deployed in similar formats, and using similar language to more mainstream internet discourse, creating a challenge in parsing the difference between complex inside jokes and memes that are used as a tool of Boogaloo extremism. Then, Wendigoon would go on to say that the organization was corrupted by the left and the right equally, but I can find no evidence that the left ever tried to co-opt an organization that actively desires a race war within America.
I'm pretty sure that, I mean, I know what lefties will say. Oh, he's not really on the left. He is on the left. Jimmy Dore. I think Jimmy Dore had a Boogaloo Boy on. And I think there was, like, you know, an effort to, like, leftify it a bit from that respect. I'm pretty sure it was a Boogaloo Boy that Jimmy Dore had on, if I recall correctly. But in any case, again, this is all fucking retarded and pointless and useless, and who cares about, you know, him having this passing association with this org that apparently went on to do all this bad stuff. And again, all of it presented without evidence. You know, not a single shred of evidence has been shown beyond Wendigoon's own words, a couple of articles that don't really back up what he's saying clearly. And in one of the cases we looked and it's not even the Boogaloo Boys or whatever that are associated. It's some other fucking right-wing group.
Just on the surface,
Crazy.
That makes no sense. And on top of this, people who are centrist, or on the left, do not use the phrasing Antifa members. The only people who say that are the ones that see Antifa as some sort of homogenous radical left-wing activist group, as opposed to a general term for anti-fascist movements. He is kind of telling on himself by saying Antifa members, as if they are a part of an organized—
Well, He is a right-winger. That is not in denial, is it? So, of course, he's going to think of it in those terms, right? So what? He's a right-winger. Who cares if he doesn't have the correct nuanced position on what Antifa is according to you leftoid fucking retards? What does it matter? Like, it's literally a useless thing. When, like, it's not in question that he's on the right. I would presume that someone on the right is probably going to think a certain way about Antifa that is not going to align with a leftist perspective on it. And then also, yes, Edgar, exactly. So he gets to say that about Antifa, but the Boogaloo Boys are an homogenous group with one unifying ideology. How can he simultaneously say that about Antifa whilst saying the opposite about the fucking Boogaloo Boys?
Political militia, like many alt-right groups are, such as the Boogaloos. And saying that there was harm and violence perpetrated on both sides is the kind of language that other fascists, like Trump, say to disorient people into not seeing—
Wait, what? What? Hey, where's he going with it? Where's this both sides shit coming from?
far-right extremism for what it is. He makes the bizarre false claim that he invented the use of the word boogaloo as a for-the-people kind of thing, and he doesn't believe in what that group did with his idealization of anti-government ideals, and also wants it to be very clear that he is not a political person. But to my ears, this is all conservative doublespeak. And I hope that this is becoming obvious to you as well. In my opinion, there is a regular pattern of behavior there. From
Yes, yeah, he did basically. He did compare Wendigoon to Trump. I hope Trump fucking wins. If I was in America, I'd vote for fucking Trump. Okay? I would vote for Trump 100% because Trump is based and funny. I want to see 2016 commence again. That's what I want to see.
Supporting Rittenhouse to having multiple ties to other far-right extremist figures. That I think a clear picture is painted that he does not mean this as a communist—
Wait, what? Brandon Buckingham? Is that Brandon Herrera? Turkey Tom? Wait. Wait, what? What is going on? This is crazy. None of these people are what he said there.
Is a regular pattern of behavior there, from supporting Rittenhouse to having multiple ties to other far-right extremist figures.
Far-right extremist figures? What? Where? Where are the far-right extremist figures?
That I think a clear picture is painted that he does not mean this as a communist kind of thing, and seemingly more so means people as a very select group. Wendigoon is very publicly friends with Turkey Tom. They have been seen together on multiple occasions, and I've seen online mentions that Tom was either at his wedding or at the very least was invited.
Turkey Tom is a fucking edgy commentary guy. What? Oh, he said the N-word a few times, guys. Don't care. Literally don't care. It's funny. It's funny. I would say it, but I can't because of TOS. It's funny to say the N-word with a hard R. We're bringing it back. I don't fucking care anymore. I'm sick of this shit. Okay?
I've seen online mentions that Tom was either at his wedding or at the very least was invited. Tom has been accused of using the N-word multiple times in private conversations, including—
Oh my goodness! He's been accused of saying the N-word in private conversations! No! 2018 as well. Fucking hell, 6 years ago. Oops. Oof. That's pretty heckin' problematic. Uh-oh. Don't say the N-word, guys. The N-word's bad. Don't say the N-word.
These screenshots of texts that are alleged to be real. And he's also been accused of saying that the upper tiers of his Patreon were intended for Jews with deep pockets.
So he can't even say the things are real. God, this guy is fucking retarded. He can't even do the research to claim that these are real. He has to couch it with, well, I've not checked these are real. Oh. Uh-oh.
Wendigoon is publicly connected to the Internet Historian, and has even appeared in his videos. The Internet Historian publicly said that his birthday was April 20th. It is not, and has only said that as a—
Oh my god, he did the Hitler birthday meme, but it is not actually his birthday, guys. That means he loves Hitler. This is crazy, dude.
Welcome to Chud Nation.
Hey,
I
thanks for the
hand you
Prime
over the
sub.
N-word pass.
Thank you. God, he has just whoever said this is correct. He has just looked at the fucking r/YouTube drama subreddit. I tell you what's happened here. It's so obvious, okay? H-Bomber guy, after his video came out about plagiarism, the YouTube drama subreddit became inundated with his fucking retard fans, and now it is a soy hug box, okay? He has seen that, and he wants a bit of that action because his channel is failing. So what he's done is he's gone ahead and he's gone over to the fucking YouTube drama subreddit and he's looked up all of this and he's putting it in his video because he wants to elicit support from that particular component of viewers to watch his content. He's trying to grow by being soy and appealing to that group of viewers. Just like fucking H-Bomber guy did, but less intentionally, obviously. Right?
It's a joke because that is Hitler's birthday. Wendigoon is publicly friends with Donut Operator, and even retweeted a photograph of the two of them hugging.
Oh my goodness, guys. If you're not convinced yet, wait until I tell you about this photo that he retweeted of him hugging another YouTuber. Isn't Donut Operator just like a cop analyzer, like a rightoid cop analyzer guy? And also, isn't he the kind of guy, from what I understand, that he will look at a police interaction and obviously he's got like a right-wing bent, but he does call a spade a spade. And I'm pretty sure I've seen content of his where he's been critical of police interactions where the police have acted badly, right? He's got that kind of vibe about him. So he's not just like, oh yeah, blue lives matter, blue lives matter, blue lives matter, guys. Always, oh my God, a fucking police officer just stomped a guy to death for no reason. Well, he shouldn't have been resisting arrest, right? It's like he will call out a bad act, even if it's from, you know, like if a cop has done something bad, I think. Anyway, yeah, I mean, I don't really understand what the criticism is here. Like, he's friends with another right-wing guy. Right, okay. I mean... So? Wow, guys, a right-winger is friends with a right-winger? Oh my fucking God, I can't believe it!
Donut Operator is a gun-crazed, very far-right YouTuber with 4 million subscribers, who's...
Gun-crazed? Is he really gun-crazed? I mean, for a European person, maybe, but in America, he's probably fairly standard.
His career consists of him reviewing footage of police officers shooting and killing people. He was once a cop himself, before he made more money making YouTube videos and retired.
Wait, what? What's wrong with that? Look at this. You can't see it, but, you know, he's clearly critical when he needs to be. Look. Acorn scares cop into mag-dumping handcuff suspect. I'm going to go ahead and presume that he's probably been critical of this guy in this video and saying it's bad form. And it's bad for him to be, you know, he's a bad police officer, right?
His content is very pro-state, pro-cop, pro-gun, and pro-death to people who don't share his beliefs propaganda. For example, one of his videos is titled, Predator Takes Shotgun to the Face, and features a picture of him smiling in the corner of the thumbnail next to an image of a terrified man about to be executed by cops, with the text that reads, head removal.
Hi everyone, Donut here. We got a couple of shootings for you.
I mean, this just... This just comes across as a little bit of a wood chipper meme, but like, I don't know, man. Let the people have a bit of a fucking wood chipper meme from time to time. No? Let the people have a bit of wood chipper memes. Come on, if the guy got shot by the police in a fair shooting, he's a nonce. Let him have his fun, surely.
Today. The main shooting just warms my heart.
And you know, for someone who supposedly is so very anti-government, Wendigoon seems very comfortable with a man who makes his living worshipping violence committed by the state. He's a man...
No, the wood chipper shit is gay, and even gayer when cops do it. Hey, Creeman, how's it going? I was wondering when you're going to show up for the Wendigoon hate. Although I don't know who you'd hate more, Wendigoon or this guy. Yeah, sure. Listen, at the end of the day, regardless of what you think about the fucking, you know, about the fucking whatever that is, I just don't really see how this is like a significant criticism of Wendigoon. So a guy that he's friends with made a video that you didn't like. Okay, okay. There's other videos there where he's being critical of the police for apparently, presumably doing bad shit.
Man of no conviction, claiming to be very against the government and for the rights of the people, while at the same time giving a warm embrace to one of the biggest fascist bootlickers on the internet. And the only thing that one could reasonably gather from this picture of them hugging is that he too is a fascist bootlicker himself.
What? What? He's hugging someone, presumably his friend, and we're saying he's a fascist bootlicker. Evidence being, the guy celebrated when some fucking nonce got shot by police, and him hugging him means he shares all of his views on that. Then, right? Okay, I think we know what we're dealing with here, don't we? Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy! It's just these people have got such an inhuman view of human relationships, right? The idea that you can't possibly be friends or whatever with someone that doesn't have the same views as you. It's like such an inhuman way of viewing the world, right? There's people out there who have got completely different political views to you that will enrich your life with their presence because of who they are as a person. You don't need to politically agree on fucking everything, you know? And the thing is they probably do agree on stuff. They probably do have some agreement because they're both on the right. But neither of them, I don't think, have got significantly extreme political views. They've got kind of standard conservative views. But yet we're acting like this is like Goebbels and Hitler having a fucking hug. Fuck me, dude.
He has collaborated with Nick Crowley, who constantly makes money through the most morbid and shameful true crime content of showcasing the last minutes of people before they are suddenly and unexpectedly killed. Crowley is similar to Wendigoon, in that on the surface they seem fairly edgy, but
who
clean
cares?
Enough. But then you notice that he follows less than 200 people on Twitter, and among them are the same circle with names like Wendigoon, Plagued Moth, Turkey Tom, Mr. Ballin, and Donut Operator. Wendigoon has collaborated with Plagued Moth, a completely shameful content creator who reviewed snuff films on his Patreon before it was taken down, and has been accused of showing genuine...
I mean, I think Plagued Moth is a total freak, retard, loser, whatever, but, I mean, just because someone has made content with him, I mean, so? What is the content he made with it? Does he agree with the crazy shit that Plague Moth has done? It just feels like guilt by association. I don't even... Plague Moth is a freak. Yeah, of course. Yeah, how long ago was it as well? Because Plague Moth is someone who I think only recently, in the past year or so maybe, has reached more controversial aspects. Right? He collabed with Plague Moth when he just did horror movies, not snuff films. Oh, okay. It was before the current drama. Is that 100%? Okay. Yeah, I mean, it feels like guilt by association. Not sure what Wendigoon thinks about his latest stuff, but I'd be surprised if he supports it. But even then, I mean, you know, I don't think you can malign someone if I ever made a video of someone forever. You can't associate everything they ever do with that one connection they had. Yeah, it just seems like a guilt by association thing.
And gore content to minors on Discord, and whose main YouTube channel consists of him reviewing censored videos of horrible acts of real-life violence and death. He is publicly friends with Shoe on Head, who is a conservative masquerading as a leftist, who has built a career off of lazy anti-woke content, complaining about SJWs, who says stuff like, Karl Marx rising from the grave finding out his movement has been taken over by fat, ugly, mentally ill losers. He is friends with Brandon...
Wait, that's based and true!
His movement has...
What's wrong with that? Oh, is this you? The most base thing ever?
Been taken over by fat, ugly, mentally ill losers. He is friends with Brandon Buckingham, a gun YouTuber who has been accused of threatening rape. He is friends with Oompaville.
Wait, what?
a gun YouTuber who has been accused of threatening rape.
What? I vaguely remember something to do with rape, but I don't think it was anything to do with threatening rape or anything like that. Was it some drama with Sneeko, if I recall correctly? I think Brandon had said something, and Sneeko presented it as like being some sort of rape threat, but the context of it wasn't a rape threat at all. It was like, before we fuck your girl like she wants us to. Oh, I see. So built in was an idea that she was willing. Wait a second. So this dude is just repeating a claim that Sneeko has made without scrutiny, which isn't even true.
He is friends with Oompaville, a gun-obsessed content creator that has taken advantage of Nakado Avocado's mental decline for fame and for money.
Wait, what? Oompaville just makes like fairly standard like commentary type content, doesn't he? What the fuck? He's not like on the right or anything like that. He's just a regular commentary guy. I don't know, bro. This is like insane degree, insane criticism. Oh, he's friends with someone who made a YouTube video about that guy that eats a bunch of food and is apparently a gun. There's just a bunch of obscure connections being thrown at you about people that aren't even that fucking bad, right? Like, at all. There's nothing wrong with any of these people beyond them having maybe differing political views. This is like just chucking what you can at the wall and seeing what sticks. Yeah, Oompaville strikes me as more of a lefty guy, more of a centre-left kind of guy, maybe, but... You can make a better argument at Oompa being unfunny over this. Yeah, but the problem is, being unfunny isn't enough. He has to be bad for him to be connected to him to then make him a bad person himself.
And on top of that, has made content with the human trafficker, Andrew Tate. He is friends with Mutahar, who argued against Andrew Tate being deplatformed from social media websites, and has recently showcased a great deal of transphobia in his most recent video.
Oh my god, this guy's... Okay, now I do know about that, and I know that's an insane thing to say.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off the
transphobia in the video? Where? Where's the transphobia? Oh, here we go. Here's the Brandon Buckingham thing. So this is what he's characterizing as rape. A rape threat. Come watch me lick shots on your busted ass girl. Whole gang is going to run the train on her like she asked us to last time I was in town. I know you love controversy and beef. How would you like the pressure? I mean, that's not a rape threat, is it? Fucking hell, dude. Right, you can see why he deleted this. This is absolutely fucking shameful video. I cannot believe that he edited all this together, took a look at it and thought, yep, this is based. It is shit talking, absolutely, yes, 100%. It's just shit talking. But he's even in the shit talking made sure to put it in there that she is consenting to this fictional scenario where him and his mates are running a train on her.
He has publicly interacted in a friendly way with the account Rock Solid on multiple occasions, and with just a quick look at their profile, I saw them liking anti-trans posts and neo-Nazi content. He interacts positively with Disclose.tv, a far-right propaganda website that uses hate speech, and
Wait, what? Wait, this guy's pals with Sophie from Mars? Really? I covered the Sophie from Mars. Oh my god. Sophie from Mars got welcomed back into the fold, despite having credible allegations of like abuse that Sophie from Mars admitted to. By their own fucking account, they should be giga cancelling this person. But they just get welcomed back into the fold.
engages in Holocaust denialism and platforms neo-Nazis. He has appeared in content with Mr. Gunzengear, whose Twitter bio reads, "Dedicated to restoring the civil rights of Americans." But despite that, he's tweeted negatively about trans people many times.
Oh no. No! He's tweeted negatively about trans people. No!
He has interacted positively with Garant Thumb, who has said the traditional family should be encouraged and strengthened.
What the fuck? No! He believes in the traditional family! No! He's basically fucking Adolf Hitler. And Donald Trump rolled up into one. He's worse. This is insane, dude.
I see little to no support from the government or big media. He has said anti-trans statements. He has called people degenerates, and has said that non-traditional sexual interaction...
Do you know what's quite telling about this as well, is how much of this is anti-trans. He said anti-trans things. Oh, he said something bad about the trans guys. He must be real bad. So clearly trying to fucking placate and approach and attach to that audience that is just going to latch on to the idea that someone is anti-trans.
Interactions are a disgusting, hedonistic lifestyle. That is the breakdown of the family unit. Wendigoon is publicly friends with Brandon Herrera, who has made jokes that implied that he was sympathetic with public shooters who killed leftists, and collaborated with Kyle Rittenhouse, who has posted images of himself with an MP40, which is a gun used by the Nazis.
Oh my god, guys. He had a gun that was used by the heckin' Nazis! Oh my goodness! What is this video? Just an absolute barrage of you know, shit getting thrown at a wall to hope something sticks. Oh, the MP40 thing. Oh, you don't like that? I don't know. Or we had fucking Carl Rittenhouse on a show one time. Oh, God. Oh, we said a bunch of anti-trans stuff too. Is that enough? Is that enough for you to see this as a bad dude? God, there's literally nothing here. There's no meat on the bone whatsoever.
That he described as the original ghetto blaster. I've also seen people insinuate that Herrera was with Wendigoon in the days of being part of the Boogaloo movement, but I cannot find substantial proof on if this is true or not. But I've seen several comments saying this, so online it is at least culturally believed to be true. He has appeared in gun-related content with Haley Luan, an influencer whose content is based entirely around making the United States military appear fun and bizarrely sexually appealing, which again, for someone who is supposedly anti-government, he sure does seem to have a lot of wealthy white friends who actively work to uphold the values of the American empire. Or we could talk about the time that he stole art to use in promotional material for his videos, and then blamed it on his editorial team instead of just taking the responsibility.
This is a message to the guy who shit talks this freak on his channel comments. Never stop. Forever send this gawk freak amazing comments on his videos.
Thank you, Austrian Petty, for the 333. Why using thumbnail I made as part of your thumbnail? My apologies. Neocranium makes great content. No disrespect meant at all. The image was put together by a friend as a teaser. Was never meant to be the thumbnail for my video. I should have clarified if fan art was used either way. My bad. Here's the real thumbnail. Okay. What? This seems like a fairly reasonable response, no? A little bit of plagiarism discourse in there for the true H-Bomber guy acolytes.
Then, of course, there is his username. To the Algonquin people, the Wendigo is a negative spiritual symbol that is to be avoided and whose name is to never even be said out loud or written down. So I know there's a bit of a hypocrisy there on my part, but we kind of do have to say it for academic purposes, so apologies for that. Starting with Algernon Blackwood's horror...
Academic purposes. You're making a fucking YouTube video, dude.
Short story called The Wendigo. People have for hundreds of years taken the creature and used it for their own means, including Wendigoon in his very name, which is something that indigenous people have been very critical with him now for years. This next thing that I'm trying to argue is not to discredit his feelings regarding to his own personal history. But what I will say is that Americans who are white or partially white in rural areas love to claim a percent...
Sam celebrates 3 months of membership. Funny how this guy never brings up Sam Hyde being at the same gun show as W-Goon with pictures.
True.
That would be an easy guilty by association to bring up.
Very true. Thank you very much for the membership.
Of native heritage for bizarre conservative reasons, relating to, like, reverence for the land and fascistic nostalgia for a time that never existed and stuff like that. He has attempted to deflect from criticism over the use of the name by saying that his grandfather was Native American, and that he learned these things culturally through him. But I personally have to look at it from the hypothetical perspective, where say I had a black or mixed grandfather in this situation, and black people were telling me that I was doing something that was racist or offensive to them. I would then listen to what they were saying instead of claiming that I had the right to do it because I had some melanin in me.
Yes, absolute sword on take. Let's go. I would sit my mixed ass down and listen. Are people even saying this? Who is even saying this about Wendigoon? Are people genuinely complaining about his use of the name? And he's not listening to them and being like, I'm going to use it because I like it. I mean, first of all, I don't fucking care. He can call himself fucking... He can call himself Negro if he wants. I don't fucking care. Okay, I can't say the full thing. Okay, I've got to be careful. He can call himself whatever the fuck he wants. He can call himself Negro Man. And I wouldn't give two fucks about it, okay? First of all. Second of all, I don't even think this is a thing. I don't even think this is a real thing. I do not think that people are genuinely fucking upset about him using this name. Okay? It's Spanish. It's Spanish for black, okay? I'm allowed to say it. Listen, they released a movie called The Magical Society of Fucking Negroes, okay? I am going to use that word. If I need to go to the movie theater and ask to see a fucking some dog shit movie about blacks, I am going to say it because it's in a movie title now, okay?
Especially if I were more or less raised within a primarily white cultural area like the Appalachian Mountains are. And also on top of that, just, you know, frequently associated myself with white supremacists. There are 26 million people in this region, and well over 80% of them are—
Dude, this is absolutely insufferable. This whole diatribe about this word. Dude, literally, who gives two fucks about this, okay? Show me this guy curb stomping a black in a neo-Nazi fueled rage, and maybe I'd be interested. But other than that, this is so irrelevant and pointless and stupid. No wonder this retard deleted this. What an absolutely worthless segment of the video this has turned out to be.
Are white, with the majority of the others being Latinos. And if I had no cultural connection around me to that non-white percentage of my history, then what really would give me the right to dictate whether or not what I was doing was appropriate?
Okay, that's wonderful.
I really would have no ground to stand on.
Wendigoon isn't appropriating native culture until he does a gambling stream.
Very true. Thank you for the $5. Very true.
The other thing that I would add to this is that Wendigoon and I are practically neighbors, and I know this area very well. Okay, so I live in Asheville, North Carolina, and between that and the reservation, you have the community of Lake Junaluska, which isn't actually even a real town. You can walk across the whole thing in a matter of minutes. You got Waynesville, you have Maggie Valley, and a few other small drive-by communities. And beyond that is the Cherokee Reservation. Wendigoon lives somewhere just on the other side of the reservation. That is not me doxing him. He has said many times publicly that he lives in East Tennessee, and I'm not even saying what town he lives in. According to the latest census, there are only 23 black people who live in Maggie Valley. There are 15 Native Americans despite it touching the reservation. Most of this area used to be sundown towns. It is about as white as you could possibly get. Deep Appalachia is very white country, and for the most part, is exceptionally racist. Genuinely in this part of the country, you have to assume that any white person you meet is racist unless they show you otherwise.
Making judgments about someone based on their race. Wow. I thought that was racist, but apparently because it's a white person, it's not. You can just assume someone is racist because of the color of their skin, based. Dude, that's insane. These people just get away with it, don't they? That's crazy. Anyway, I'm thinking about moving there, to be honest. I'm fucking sick of it. I'm sick of it.
Almost all of these little towns are well over 90% white. But if you were to drive through Maggie Valley, you would find antique stores selling busts of Native American braves, carved wooden eagles, vintage paintings of buffalo, super...
Yeah, and in the UK, in some small villages, you get gollywogs on sale. Okay? And admittedly, it's a bit weird when you walk in and there's just a fucking gollywog thing on sale. You guys know what a gollywog is? I'm saying the name of the doll for journalistic purposes, okay? It was an old marmalade thing where they had the representative of the marmalade was the gollywog. Let me just show you, okay? Let me just for the purposes. Yeah, one of these. Yeah, one of these bad boys. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Gollywog. They used to use these to advertise marmalade in the UK. And then they were like, oh, hang on a minute. This is a bit racist. I think it's a bit outdated. We need to change this. And then obviously it changed. And you don't really get these widespread anymore. But sometimes you go to like a little town or village in the middle ass end of nowhere in the UK.
Okay, that's wonderful.
You spot one of these
but
bad boys.
How do I make money off depressed people?
I'm glad this guy has no money.
Thank you very much for the super chat. What's wrong with this? I mean, come on. Come on. Be real. What's wrong with this? I mean, I'm not saying it's, the end of the world, but I can absolutely see why this isn't fucking widely available anymore. Come on, man. Give me a break with this shit. Bro. What the fuck? Oh my god. Bro! It's worse. These are the older ones, to be fair. Fucking hell. I disavow. I completely disavow this. The Gollywogs Auto Go-Kart. Yeah. The Gollywog is controversial, being widely considered a racist caricature of black people, alongside pickaninnies, minstrels, and mammy figures. The doll is characterized by jet black skin, eyes rimmed in white, exaggerated red lips, and frizzy hair, based on the blackface minstrel tradition. Right, okay. No problem here, guys. Getting back in circulation. What's the problem? I want to see these, and I want to see this in the hands of every kid in the fucking country before we can say we've overcome the woke mind virus. Bring back the Gollywogs. Chud merch.
Racist generalizations that idealize the idea of the noble, good kind of Native American. And then you'll drive onto the reservation, and it's just run down and poor as shit except for the casino. He has said that the Wendigoon name came from his cultural connection to Native lore through his grandfather's side. But I can assure you that unless you were on the reservation itself, that actual Native culture has no aspect in the general lives of the people around here, other than the racist trinkets that depict them. And as I said a moment ago, the Wendigo is Algonquin, who are nowhere close to the vicinity of the Cherokee, who are in the southern Appalachia region, and throughout the lower sections of Middle America. The Algonquin people are Canadian, and a little bit Northern American. To insinuate that he can use the Wendigo name by citing local cultural native customs is completely absurd to a person who lives in the same general vicinity as he does. It is obvious that he just thought Wendigos were cool, and has come up with some seemingly strange backstory lie that is easily proven to not be true, unless, his grandfather is Algonquin and just moved to Tennessee. But if that were the case, I don't know why he wouldn't just come out and say that.
Why? Okay, so now we're doing this kind of like racialized analysis of his background. Really? Like, this is how desperate we are to fucking pin something on this guy? Is you're talking about his name and he doesn't have the correct racialized background in order to say Wendigoon is his name. I mean, so what? Listen, if we're going to talk about certain races being able to do certain stuff, I got some real bad fucking news about the blacks, okay? There's a lot of stuff they're going to have to fucking put back on the shelf.
Moved to Tennessee. But if that were the case, I don't know why he wouldn't just come out and say that by now. And the reason why he doesn't is because it isn't true. There's a lot of bizarre, religious-like mythologizing around his past that I particularly hate. Like it always being said that his interest in cryptids and horror began with oral folktales in Appalachia that are passed down and told to children. I assure you, as someone who lives near him and has for most of my life, this is total bullshit, and is some weird, false, cultural, imaginative idealization of the American South that is not actually true to the real Appalachia. We aren't...
How can he say that for sure? Yeah, also, okay, Smaggle, he just said that Wendigoon isn't Native American. And he is native. He's got an indigenous background, right? I'm guessing that's the issue. But he's just claiming it without any proof. He doesn't know. And then also he's trying to claim that there's not this passing down of stories that happens. When, I mean, that's all the... But, you know, these fucking indigenous people, right? We were fucking getting things started. Okay? Chud, Wendigoon was not sitting on mountaintops being read stories by a shaman as a child. Hate to break the illusion. Who's got the image? Queeman's here now. We can show him the image that perfectly sums him up. Yeah, sure. I'm sure there is some mythologizing like that happens with Wendigoon's background. I'm sure that does happen. It sounds like he's a person that will, you know, overstate aspects of himself. Sure. But that doesn't mean that he's like this terrible person. Yeah, sure, it's gay. I agree. But this guy's trying to act like it's a sort of damning condemnation of his character along the lines of him being some sort of far-right fascist, which is obviously insane.
Sitting around at night talking about the...
Everyone does this stuff. Nah. I would never. Everything I've told you about myself. Yo, there it is. Someone needs to edit this little guy to be Queeman. That would make it perfect. That would be ideal. But no, I don't think that's true. I don't mythologize my situation. You know, what I've told you about my background is true. There's no mythologizing there. Creepy Uncle said, why does it already look like Creeman? So yeah, I mean, I do agree. Yeah, it's obviously a bit gay to be like, you know, oh yeah, you know, it's like your mate at school. Yeah, what was the fucking meme? The kid at school knows someone that did something or something. It's a bit like that, isn't it? You know, mythologizing your background. Yeah, it's a bit gay, but I don't think anything beyond that. It's just this idea that the way he's petting him is some far right dude. Yeah. My dad runs Nintendo. Yeah. Exactly. But he's not just saying, oh, it's a bit lame to do that. He's saying this makes him some sort of far right fascist, which is obviously absurd, right?
The goddamn Mothman and shit. I even came from a poor family and he didn't. When I was a kid, I have seen people riding into towns on horseback. He admits to being raised by millionaires who got their money from crime. He just likes spooky stories, which is fine. So do I, obviously. But to come up with some weird folksy reason as to why he became a folklore YouTuber that somehow culminated with the destiny of local oral tradition is the kind of language that is used by members of a cult of personality. They might as well claim that he was born on a fucking mountaintop. Nobody talks about it. But don't you think it is extremely weird and off-putting that all of his fans call him Dad? Isn't that really strange? What follows is an exchange between two anonymous indigenous...
I mean, you know, if that's true, that's a bit gay, yeah. But like, I'm just like, it does really justify a fucking 40-minute segment where you fucking call this guy a far-right fascist? And again, it's like, what proof has he got to back this claim up as well? I'm not seeing that on the screen at all. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. It just seems like a very excessive segment, even if you do, if that was true, which, you know, he's not proving in any way.
People about how they feel about him and his behaviors. I've been watching a YouTuber named Wendigoon for a long time, and I noticed that his username always made me feel weird. He often uses Wendigo imagery in his merch, and made it a part of his brand. He says that his grandfather is Cherokee, and taught him the legend, and I'm not going to make assumptions on if he is lying or not. But I feel really weird still. It feels really disrespectful to me to use that name. I'm not sure if I'm being a baby about it, or if there's something wrong here.
Okay, but, I mean, regardless of any mythologizing that might be happening, if he has got a sort of certain... I mean, I think it's absurd to claim you need to have a certain racial background to call yourself something. But using this guy's fucking logic, if he is what he says he is, then he's within his rights to use it, no? By his logic, at least. I don't know, dude. This is fucking gay.
He has also said some shit about cultural appropriation that put up some serious red flags for me. The Wendigo comes from the Algonquin people, I don't think Cherokees come from that group. Plus, he's presenting the white people concept.
Okay, Native Americans, all the stuff that we've given you, we're taking it back, and we're giving you back the fucking smallpox blankets, okay? Natives are getting that, right? Blacks, we're sending you back to Africa. All the shit that you've come to enjoy. No more, no thank you. Stop using our language as well. Fuck off back over there, okay? Like, bro, this is insane. What is this argument that because someone is not of the right racial fucking component, they can't do something or say something? Yes, clip away, clip away. Yes, I'm racist, correct. Who cares, bro? Who fucking cares about what racial component you are to call yourself something or use a certain term? Fuck me.
Of a Wendigo. You can call him out, but he has 3.5 million subs. His community will probably hunt you down before you ever get him to shut down. What follows is the comment that they were referring to about cultural appropriation, where a native person called out Wendigoon for his use of their spiritual symbol, to which he said to them, I'm actually going to make a video on this in order to make a direct response, but for now, cultural appropriation is a good way to alienate one group of people from the other. Whenever a society makes advancements in art and literature, and then another society gatekeeps others from interacting with it, it makes the creators seem inhuman and odd. The easiest way to create prejudice is to convince others that a group of people should not be interacted with. I have spoken to several natives who love the concept, yet only those who have no value in its existence say I shouldn't talk about it, inciting an indoctrinated superiority. Furthermore, when we stop talking about cultures, they die. This is especially applicable to Native Americans, who use spoken word to pass down their stories. And if we do not continue to speak their stories, their culture dies before we do. Lastly.
Okay, this is way too fucking overwrought, man. Just literally don't care. You're gay and retarded. I'll culture appropriate whatever I want, okay? That is the correct response. What is all this? Come on, it's too much. Who cares? Yeah, I'm going to culture appropriate away, and there's nothing you can do to stop me. Get fucked. I'm going to wear the most offensive stereotype of a fucking Indian person I can. Indian, alright? Fuck off.
I was raised in Appalachia, and my entire life has been filled with stories of the mountains and creatures that lurk in the dark. My culture is as American as any, and I recognize the importance in keeping the fire alive. I in no way mean this to attack or to be direct. Just a simple reply.
Oh my God.
If we develop the idea that we can't speak of certain people, then we're no better than those who silence them. He's basically using the I have a few black friends excuse to tell indigenous people to fuck off and to not bother him, so that he can continue without criticism to make a lot of money by selling plushies of a monster that was invented by a white British man that is ultimately making fun of their culture, as well as plastic figurines, posters, shirts, and other merchandise that depicts Wendigos. I don't know if he fully realizes the irony of being a rich and famous person taking a symbolic figure from a smaller native group of people that he is not connected to in any way, that is at least in part to them originally used as a metaphor for colonialism. The reason that this comment is publicly still available is because Wendigoon archived it by posting a screenshot of it early in his channel's life to his Reddit page, as a clarification of his official position on why he should be able to use the name, saying, "Hey everyone, so I hate getting political, but this keeps coming up. I'm showing this comment reply now, so my opinions can be made known going forward. I've also blocked out the original commenter, and please do not show hate if you see it on the video. Also, I'm at 50k. I love you all so much. Also, I have received comments from natives who advise me not to use the term Wendigo, as it is a bad omen and is dangerous. That is entirely different from not talking about a group of people altogether. They genuinely believe the legend and want me to be safe. They're cool. Thumbs up emoji." It has become a more common thing for people to call him out on his beliefs, his behaviors, and at the continued use of the Wendigo in his name and the merchandise that he makes a lot of money off of. It became so much of a conversation that he even put out a statement trying to shut this down, saying, "Some rude and slanderous things have been said about my character, and I just want to clarify that I am not right-wing or bigoted or anything besides thankful for my opportunity to make goofy YouTube. The only thing I believe in is..."
Wait, he says he's not right-wing. I mean, you know, maybe he's a centrist or something? I don't know. But yeah, I would have thought he's on the right somewhere.
"Loving God and my wife. Donut Operator. You know, the ex-cop who makes death content. The Wendigoon shared a picture of the two of them hugging not long after this. Can be found in the comments of this post asking if Wendigoon wants him to start killing people who said that he was right.
Oh my god, dude! Fuck off, bro. Are you serious? Does this guy seriously think that Donut Operator is going to get strapped up and head round to some fucking random people's house to shoot them for having a pop at Wendigoon? This is like,
I think that this thing, if Wendigoon,
this is not a serious fucking threat. You've got to be fucking kidding me, dude. This is obviously a fucking obvious meme. The whole point of this scene in the movie is this person is acting excessively. They're acting, I think they're acting like it's reasonable that you, like, I think, what is it? Is it fucking Waterboy? Is that it? I can't remember. But the point is, this person is obviously acting excessively, but there's a point to be made that the people she's talking about wanting, you know, oh, should I kill these people? Is they're being harsh and rude and mean? But she's painted as crazy. Like, she's got a point that these people are bad, but she's being too crazy about it. Fuck me, man. Imagine taking this seriously, bro. Insane.
Wants him to start killing people who said that he was right-wing. I think that this is an all-time bad public statement that says absolutely nothing substantial. And that's the point. I quote-tweeted this and said, not that I have a stake in this whatsoever, but this is such a non-statement that doesn't even address any of the issues that folks are criticizing him for. Someone using their religion as a shield in the same breath as claiming that they believe in nothing politically is a red flag.
Well, okay, he's not saying he doesn't believe in anything politically. He's saying that he's not right-wing, which I'm a bit skeptical of, but whatever, it doesn't really matter that much. How is he using religion as a shield? He's just saying that he is religious.
Oh, I'm just a goofy, wholesome boy. Please don't ask me why I follow less than 500 people and one of them was Kyle Rittenhouse. Don't ask me about all the guns that I post pictures of. I promise I have no strong beliefs. Apolitical, really. Why?
He didn't say it was apolitical.
Why are you slandering me? I really only care about this because if you have that large of a platform and make your money from being a public persona, then you are no longer fully a private person, and your political beliefs do in fact matter and are a fair topic of debate. You can't get mad if people call you unquestionable things that are said or done if you are making money off of them. And what resulted from some good faith criticism of his use of language was—
oh my god, dude. Cry about it, retard. This guy is fucking pathetic. Complaining about getting a bit of heat for going after someone and getting into drama. Bro, if you quote tweet someone and get into it with them, you're going to have a bit of drama, yeah. Fucking deal with it.
Days upon days of people calling me a faggot. Amongst other things, but that was their go-to word. And to be honest,
oh
if you're a public figure,
they called you the no-no word, which you probably are.
Figure who is being criticized publicly, and the only people who come to your defense are Nazis, then that can only be read as two ways.
Nazis?
Either
how does he know those people were Nazi? Bro, this is insane!
You're sympathetic to their views, or that you're perfectly fine making money from them, and are comfortable with that ideology being the backbone of your base.
Correct.
And this did go on for, like, at least a week, where every single time I said anything, my mentions were just filled with the most
my menchies! Not my menchies! Filled with Nazis! Oh no! Cry about it, retard! That person was right! Oh my god, dude, this is so fucking insufferable. Not my menchies! No, it's not. Well, this is a copy of it. This is a copy of it. But the video's not deleted. The video's still up. But this portion about Wendigoon has indeed been removed. So take from that what you will. My heckin' menchies are filled with Nazis.
Vile far-right rhetoric from Wendigoon fans. And if anyone ever criticized me, and people's reaction to it was to immediately start using hate speech, I would shut that shit down so fast. I think that most decent people who work online would do the exact same.
Oh, I see. He said his channel is apolitical, right? Yeah, his channel could well be apolitical, right? In that he's not talking about hard politics on his channel, which is what most people mean by that. Obviously, there can be like a political theme or element to what you're talking about, but that's different to making it explicitly about politics one way or another. And I don't think that he is like doing lots of content talking about his right-wing views and beliefs and stuff, right? Also, what was that?
And people's reaction to it was to immediately start using hate speech. I would shut that shit down so fast. I think that most decent people who work online would do the...
My message to those of you that do stuff like that: Stand back and stand by.
Exact same. And if they don't want to be seen as a big group of Nazis, then let's see how they react to this video's existence, because I am certain they will be very level-headed about all of this. Right in the midst of this going on, a very funny thing happened, and that Wendigoon followed me on Twitter. I was not following him at the time. He never publicly told people to stop calling me a faggot. He never once reached out to me privately, but he did follow me, which means in my eyes that he 100% knew what was happening because I did tweet about it several times.
Oh my god, dude. This is so gay. I could not imagine caring to this level. Oh, some guy got into beef with his fans of being obnoxious. Funny, in my opinion. But do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, fucking have at it then. Either fucking say your shit, talk shit on them, don't talk shit on them, move on, whatever you want to do. This insufferable whining is so pathetic.
And then followed me to let me know that he knew, and that he was watching, and that he intended to do nothing to stop it. Why else would he follow me in that exact moment? He has never...
What the fuck, dude? This guy's schizophrenic. I knew that he followed me so he could watch me and know that he knew that I knew that he knew. Oh my goodness. What schizo freak this guy is. Lay off the fucking, you know, he needs to get on the fucking antipsychotics.
Interacted with a single one of my posts. Not one like, not one comment. We are not friends. But he does follow me. He follows next to nobody on Twitter. What other motivation could he have had there to follow me in that specific moment?
Probably because you talk some shit on him, and he wanted to see if you talk shit again, and decided whether he wanted to fucking shoot back or not. Bro, what is this pathetic? This guy followed me on Twitter. Who cares? Fucking, you can take him off if you really want to, if you're that bothered. You can click and get him to not follow you anymore.
Other than to be a method of quiet and deniable intimidation, what other way could that have been
intimidation?
Read from my perspective? If you think it was entirely coincidental, which he may argue it was, then I've got a sack of magic beans I'd like to sell to you. That was the moment that pushed me over the edge to make this video. There are other very public instances from him of transphobia and homophobia. Like when he allegedly said, calling Christian, a man who mutilated his body with a box cutter because 4chan said he was a girl, holds a deep hatred for men and most women, decided to be a girl so that he could hook up with lesbians, and now abused his mom. She is disrespectful to and delegitimizes trans people.
A totally fair take, and even within this, there's a trans positive message here. Right? Like, the whole point of this is pointing out that it's bad for trans people to validate someone who clearly is just a mentally ill fucking weirdo.
Like he, a very publicly straight married Christian cis man, somehow is the authority on what legitimizes a trans person's identity. He has tried to cover this up and has denied...
I feel like these... Listen. I feel like these lefties just don't know about Christian. I feel like they just don't understand the law and appreciate how insane the law of that person is. And so they just think, oh, well, Christian says they're a woman, so therefore they're a woman, and anyone that says otherwise is being transphobic.
Deny that it happened, but I think there's enough evidence to say that it most likely did. One user said at one point, he's been constantly misgendering her on Twitter despite being corrected numerous times.
Oh my goodness. Constantly misgendering. I do not care about this shit anymore, okay? Just please allow me to say what I want to say about someone, alright? Without fucking jumping down my throat. And I don't fucking care about this shit. I've lost interest in this now, okay? Fuck me. Well, he was misgendering on Twitter. Who fucking cares, bro? This is such bullshit!
To which Wendigoon said, show me one time I misgendered her on Twitter. Actually, please don't watch my content if you're going through my replies and monitoring followers, who may just be unaware of Christian's entire lore. Perhaps people just not knowing something doesn't mean that they're a transphobe. But if we go back and look...
Oh, wait a second. Uh-oh. That is a little bit of a porky pie. He did technically misgender Christian by the conception that Christian is a woman.
At old screenshots from this time, you can see that this account is quote tweeting Wendigoon's transphobic tweet, but if you go to that account today, that post is now quote tweeting a deleted tweet, which to me shows that more than likely Wendigoon went mask off with his transphobia, and then deleted the tweet sometime afterwards,
so mask off.
when he realized that people would be mad about it. But there's a very small chance that this is not true because I did not take the original screenshot, so make of that what you will. We could talk about the time that Nick Spheres did a video about the disturbing movie Iceberg, who was
What's going on here then? What's all this? Who's this?
Okay, that's
And
wonderful.
why do they look
But
like
how
that?
do I make money off depressed
Hey?
people?
Isn't Chris Chan only trans because they want free access to women? I thought this was well established.
Possibly. Yeah, listen. I ain't getting into the Christian discourse right now. But thank you very much for the super chat.
Was a great. We could talk about the time.
Why is their head shaped like an egg? What's happened here? Particularly difficult birth, was it? Getting out the old birth canal. Squeeze the head. So it looked like a fucking conehead person. It's like that movie, Conehead, yeah. What was that? With fucking, what's his face in? Fucking hell, dude.
Okay, that's wonderful.
Or
But
is
how do
this
I make
facial
money
feminizing
off depressed
surgery gone wrong? I don't know. Who knows? Thank you very much for the super chat. Let's go. Someone sent this guy a Sonitude medallion. True.
Time that Nick Spheres did a video about the disturbing movie Iceberg, who is a great horror trans creator, and I really hope that she's not.
They're trans? What? Oh my goodness. No way, bro. I could not have they say you can always tell, but I would not have been able to tell if they hadn't told me. Wowee.
Not mad at me for mentioning her here, because I think she's very cool and you should definitely go read her books. But Wendigoon famously did a very popular video on that particular iceberg challenge as well. And in the comments of her video, he said, "We will be watching your career with great interest." Which is just kinda gross, because in a way it is similar to him following me. It is him.
What? What? Okay, first of all, this is strong evidence that Wendigoon may be a chaser, number one. And number two, this is a positive comment. This is someone being nice to another YouTuber. This is Palpatine to fucking Anakin Skywalker meme, isn't it? But the whole point is, I'm going to be keeping an eye on you because I like what you're doing. Real recognizes real. Good move, Wendigoon. Wendigoon, if you need some chasing tips, let me know, okay?
Him telling her that he sees that she's doing similar content to him, and his presence in the comments is undercutting her video, while he also at the same time seemingly makes it look like he supports trans people. Like in the responses to his comment, people are saying things like, "Wendigoon says trans rights," while meanwhile he's simultaneously tweeting about Chris Chan multiple times. We could talk about another time, where someone made a YouTuber gay sex alignment chart and put Wendigoon as a sub-bottom, to which he responded to them and said,
I know this guy! I reckon he watches streams sometimes. I know this dude. Fucking hell, man. This is a very homosexual act, I must say.
"What did I do to hurt you?" Which, you know, clearly is a joke, but also the worst kinds of straight guys when they make jokes related to queerness, almost exclusively direct the punchline at femme gays and bottoms, because they view them as lesser than masculine tops. He has multiple times said that he supports queer people, but I think his actions in private...
We're doing the top-bottom analysis again.
clearly paint a different picture. He once tweeted, saying, "I do not care if someone is gay or straight. Sexuality is no one's business but the individual. Don't make assumptions. I make an effort to stay away from politics and social issues." Which, you know, first off, equating sexuality with politics kind of already shows what you kind of think of the issue.
Wait, what?
You know, first off, equating sex away from politics
and social issues. Is this guy fucking retarded, dude, or just fucking malicious? He's clearly saying he doesn't talk about politics and social issues, obviously saying that sexuality is a social issue, which it fucking, you know, is. By his own fucking logic, it would be a social issue.
Politics and social issues. Which, you know, first off, equating sexuality with politics kind of already shows what you kind of think of the issue. And second off, clearly, as we have seen, everything that he does has deep political...
It's not out of the realm of possibility. Does this guy have a black and white view?
No, absolutely. I mean, Blair White is, you know, accept it. I mean, there's some hardline, you know, anti-trans Republicans, like right-wingers that are really anti-Blair White and, like, you know, whatnot. But there's plenty of Republicans, and this actually is a source of much disagreement within the right, because the further right people are like, why are you accepting a trans person? Don't do that ever. Whereas the people that are more moderate are like, no, it's okay. You know, Blair White's all right. Blair White says the right things. So there's even disagreement amongst the right about the acceptance of even, you know, trans people that are on their side. So it's totally possible that someone could be a right winger and supportive of LGBT stuff and just have a personal, you know, view on it. And they're happy for other people to do it and have a more of a libertarian perspective.
Motivations. And to argue that he's just a horror YouTuber is comical. Far-right figures are often the only ones who hide their harm under a false shield of wanting to seem like they have no strong beliefs at all.
Okay. I don't think this is exclusive to the right, but okay.
Because their real views are so socially abhorrent. And the thing that people kept saying to me in all of this was, why do you even care? Which, if you watch the comments under the video, I guarantee you will happen again, with takes like, oh, he's just a YouTuber. Why does it matter? Or, so what if he's a conservative? Is that a problem? Which, the answer to that is yes. But the reason that I care is because this does not belong in horror, or anywhere. I care deeply about horror, and everything that he does has demonstrated so far in his career that he should not be welcomed in our spaces, or even, you know, just in public in general. I think that
not allowed in public, apparently now. Dude. What does that mean? What is the logical conclusion of that thought process? He's not allowed out in public. So he's got to be locked up in his house forever and can never leave.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
So many of these takedowns are just they aren't progressive like me.
Yep.
I just say I am not a part of your religion or ethical system.
Thank you very much for the $5. I didn't know VODs are not off. I don't know what's happened. VODs should not be off on YouTube. But for some reason, maybe... No, it should be. They should be up and running and working. They're going into the right playlist. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what's going on.
that these things clearly showcase a repeated pattern, in my opinion, of racism and homophobia, while on top of that, being very irresponsible and dangerous with his large platform. Like, I think that anyone who supposedly accidentally starts a neo-Nazi hate group and fully acknowledges that they did that should not be accepted within society at all. They should not be celebrated. They should be treated for what they are. Because remember, kids, when somebody shows you who they are, believe them.
He really thought he cooked. He thought he cooked there, didn't he? God, what a dog shit fucking segment. No wonder he deleted it. Fucking hell, man. Anyway, there is a bit more meat on the bone here that we need to look at. But I've hydrated myself, and now I need to have a piss. So I'll be back in a sec. Jesus Christ, this whole video has taken up so long. What the fuck, dude? So yeah, there's been a lot of stuff happening, I guess you could say. The YouTubers that in Praise of Shadows called out in his latest video are pretty pissed. Well, Wendigoon seems to give the appearance of being chilled about it. Ha ha ha, you fucking nerd. This self-righteous Breadtuber thinks if you're, this is Brandon Buckingham, thinks if you're friends with Internet Historian, Donut Operator, Shoeonhead, Umperville, Mutahar, Garen Thumb, Turkey Tom, Brandon Herrera, or myself, then you're a bad person. The end portion of that video is a schizo post. Be careful, Wavy. I'm a gun YouTuber. You don't want to be affiliated with an extremist like me. You might be labelled as a bad guy. I forgot I did all that stuff. What the fuck did I do, lol? In a desperate attempt to make Wendigoon look bad for being friends with me, this overweight loser described me as a gun YouTuber who's been accused of threatening rape. And then this is Wendigoon's response, right? We are second-class citizens. No, you're not. YouTube is the better platform to watch VODs anyway. I'm doing you a favour. Please no one harass or comment rude things on my behalf. I do not agree with or condone meanness in any way. If you're here to leave a spiteful remark on my behalf, don't. Nothing good comes from anger. I mean, look, okay, I love a bit of fucking fractious brouhaha myself, but I totally understand how this guy, you know, is playing the kind of... This is the Christian angle, isn't it? Yeah, Smaggle's nailed it. As a response, it's good, but as a drama response, it's gay. Yes, Smaggle knows. I just think that Wendigoon clearly doesn't want to have the drama of it all, and he just wants to come from a very kind of like Christian forgiveness, whatever perspective, and try and mitigate and stop any people being too crazy about it, right? I want to apologize for people saying awful things to you on Twitter. I did not know this was happening, and I don't stand by that behavior. I followed you because I saw that your Slenderman video and enjoyed it, then saw you in my recommended follows. It shows like you strongly dislike me, and that's okay. But if I've done anything to cause you that, I apologize. If I've ever spoken against you without cause or made any joke at your expense, I'm sorry. I did not follow you to harass you. God, it is too much, dude. Look.
Okay, that's wonderful.
To me, killing with kindness is fine. If you,
I feel as if the culture war is
too
creating
concessionary
conditions that are inimical to actual nuanced discussion because of loud voices drowning out the more sane.
Very true. Thank you for the $5. It's a very disarming response. That's true, actually, yeah. No, I think I'm looking at this from a drama angle, but I think you're right. It's a good response because it makes the guy look crazy, yes. So he's gone on this big diatribe about what a terrible, dangerous person Wendigoon is. And Wendigoon's like, I'm so sorry if I've ever done anything to upset you. And it's like, okay. What do you do now? It is very difficult. It's very disarming. When you speak to someone that's just disarming, doesn't want the antagonization. Yeah, it's pretty tough. I did not follow you to harass you, but if that contributed in any way, I wish I could take it back. You didn't have to like me, but I hope you do not feel I have ill will against you. There is a lot you've assumed incorrectly about me, but that's to be expected. I tried to keep my life private in what ways I can, and my friends mentioned in the video can take up for themselves. I'll only point out that your assertion about branding at Buckingham is particularly egregious because the lie regarding a threat was made up by Sneeko when Brandon called him out on his behaviour. I know you wouldn't support internet figures like Sneeko, but you inadvertently did by not checking the source. Oh, that's actually quite... I said that earlier. I've made similar mistakes. Most YouTubers have at one point or the other, but harmful allegations spread when people parrot rather than decipher data. I have said things in the past that I do not agree with now, and I'm learning to better myself daily, and each day find myself more in the wrong. I am sorry for the things I've said to bring hurt or strife onto any person or people. May God forgive me. I hope you're successful. The Slenderman video was great, and I hope you don't find myself or my audience impeding your career. And again, if you're here to leave a mean comment for me, don't be. I mean, look, okay? Christianity is soy. Christianity is too soy, all right? Mr. Rogers over here must have some really fun content. Say it, Chud. I mean, yeah, this is extremely homosexual. I don't like this, personally. But I get it. I get why he's responded like this. Clearly, he's got a very different strategy to engaging with the online world. And his is one of, you know, what's the word? Like, disarmament or something. Stylo, why are you having a go at me? You forget your trilby back. You get your trilby back from the cleaners yet? This comes across as a very tactical move. I mean, he's obviously, you know, this is. I doubt that. Like, if he was really fucking saying it how it is, he'd probably be popping off, I'd imagine. But yeah, or maybe it's just the God thing. Maybe it is the God thing. Listen, I just want the drama. I want the fucking meat on the bone. I want the spice. And this has completely dissipated that. You should declare total war. I just find it very annoying and very kind of like, you know, it's too soft. It's too soft. Too nice. Too nice. Way too nice. But hey, I'm gonna get away with that from time to time. I would never leave a comment like this though. I'd rather just not respond to a video than leave a comment like this. Yes, Stylo. Yes, I know. Yeah. Okay. But I would never leave a comment like this, no matter how nice I felt. But yeah, I think in terms of like contending with this drama and contending with this dude, I think it is, you know, it makes him look insane. It makes the other guy look like a crazy person who is needlessly freaking out about Wendigoon when he's a very, you know, very nice guy. He's a real nice guy, actually. Okay, and then In Praise the Shadows actually ended up responding in a Twitter thread. So let's have a look at this. A thread about the last few days. Many people have said fair criticism of me and my work, that I did not appropriately portray people, and I would like to address that. I mean, look, if you haven't to issue this many corrections in this tweet thread, maybe it's not. Maybe you're better off just as he's done deleting the segment, which he ended up doing. But dude, that is shocking that you have to have this many fucking corrections. To Brandon, I do need to apologise to you for two things. The first, you are right. It was wrong for me to use that picture. I included it to show that you and Wendigoon had a closeness. There are other images I could have used to demonstrate that.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
Also, notice how Wendigoon never insulted that one trans chick. Yet this dude is still
very true.
seething.
Then give us $5. For that, for what it's worth, I genuinely am sorry. The second is I did not do my diligence when looking into allegations against you. To be honest, I saw pictures of you with Turkey Tom, with Donut Operator, with Wendigoon, with Brandon Herrera, and often with a gun in your hand. I wrote you off. What, dude? This guy's fucking... Okay, this guy's content is completely fucked. Like, he's just looking at someone and writing someone off on the basis of who they're in a fucking picture with. Didn't even bother researching or looking into anything. And he's supposed to be doing a fucking edited piece to take someone down. Dude. I did not feel you were worth my time, and that was as a result of the company you keep. Ultimately, that is a failing on me, though, and how I presented that. You using homophobic language to me in calling me a low testosterone freak does not change my opinion about you. My base thoughts remain the same, even though I should have said them differently and not let that cloud my writing. To Mutahar, your thumbnail art was transphobic. I have nothing else to say to that. Even in this guy is absolutely full of shit because he didn't just say the thumbnail is transphobic. He said the video itself was transphobic. I mean, we've already obviously spoken about how absurd the thumbnail criticism is, but you know, he didn't just say the thumbnail was transphobic, which is a common talking point amongst the soys. He said the video was, and he's completely changed that, but not really recognised that. Wait, Mutar responded. Did he? Retard alert. From Repsian. Okay, anyway, let's keep reading the thread. I always try to do my best. I dropped the ball here in how I presented this. My heart was in the right place. I tried to live my life with integrity. If you have watched me for a long time, I hope you know this. I will always believe in trying to do the right thing and standing up to things that I do not believe in. I was overcome with anger because I think it is incredibly dangerous. There's a man in horror that you cannot criticize without being called an F-slur for days on end. I think that is a very serious issue. No! If I criticize someone, I'm going to get called mean words. Like, look, okay? This guy's video is retarded, and the guy's an idiot. And even if you made a watertight criticism, people are still going to fucking, you know, their fans are still going to shit on you. But that's just called being on the fucking internet, okay? And if you can't handle the heat, don't enter the kitchen and don't make a video about someone. And certainly don't make a video about someone that's full of fucking holes like you did. It's not a serious issue that people on the internet are mean. Like, you know, it's annoying. I get it, right? You criticize a bigger creator or you go against them and they're going to try and squash you with their audience unintentionally sometimes. You just got to fucking roll with the punches. And if you really don't want the heat, don't fucking, you know, don't get into the ring. I just find this is such a fucking pathetic criticism. Like, if you don't have the fire in your belly to fight with a bunch of retards, then don't bother, you know? But I did let that anger at this affect my overall quality in the presentation of these events. I still think that is dangerous. I still think it should be talked about, but I should have worked at this to make my thoughts more clear and professional. Kevin Spacey is innocent and deserves defending and helping. This YouTube dork is the real criminal that needs taking down a peg. What consequence am I calling for this guy, exactly? Right? I'm not saying this guy should be cancelled. I'm not saying this guy should be fucking wiped off the face of the earth. I'm not saying he shouldn't get invited to events or anything like that. I'm just saying his video was bad, poorly researched, poorly put together, and he should delete the segment because it's not very good. That's it. Which he did in the end, you know? And on top of that as well, he clearly isn't making good money from this. So he probably needs to get a fucking proper job because he's not making money doing YouTube. Well, obviously, people in chat are a different kettle of fish. But me personally, I'm not calling for any sort of cancellation. I'm just being critical of what he's doing.
But how do I make money?
As I was with Kevin Spacey too.
Here's a litmus test. Let's see what he thinks of Ukraine.
Thank you for the $5. I also think that it's telling the bulk of what I said has not actually been addressed at all, and that many criticisms were instead about details that I got wrong. Okay, well, what did you say that was substantive that needs to be addressed then? There wasn't anything in there. It was all guilt by association shit. And, you know, I thought this was supposed to be about how Wendigoon is a bad guy. But then it becomes all these other people, and we've got to address all of these other points now as well, apparently. Mentally, I've grown very tired of conservatives picking apart my work for 2 years. I'm worn down. I let my emotions get the best of me here, but the core idea in this needed to be addressed. But this was beneath me. This was a product that began with Hills Have Eyes ultimately. I made this video to say that even if Wendigoon does not harbour hate, that his base was made of it, and that he is comfortable making money from that. And I think that point stands true, and has now been proven, and it's now time to end this. Right, so this guy was so bothered about these comments about his shitty take on the Hills Have Eyes, and he got so upset with the comments that were made, that he decided to make this video going after Wendigoon.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
John Brown has absolutely done a number on this guy's mental, hasn't he? Fuck me. John Brown has burrowed himself into the base of his skull, at the bottom of his brain, is just eating away at it slowly but surely. John Brown won. Why give this away? You know, obviously, right? You do read comments. You see a comment, right? And it's like, oh, fucking hell, that's annoying. That's a fucking retard said an annoying thing. But you forget about it, you know? You forget about it and go about your day. That's it. Who fucking cares? Some retard on the internet said something you don't like. Boom. Move on. But these people, it fucking stays with them. They can't get over it, you know? John Brown sweep. And I think that point stands true and has now been proven. It is now time to end this. Today, I will be taking down that section down from my video. I'll be gone for a month while I recharge. What the fuck, dude? I feel bad about taking a couple of days off. And the people just take a month off like that. What the fuck, dude? How do these people do it? I'm like, oh, need to take a couple of days off. Anyway, we're back in a couple of days, guys. I'm like, fuck, I don't want to take time off, but I kind of have to. For whatever reason. And this guy's like, oh, I'm just going to take a month off because I guess I feel a bit sad. See you later. You can't take a month off making content if you're broke as well. That's crazy. John Brown has absolutely raped this guy's social battery. I'll be gone for a month while I recharge and work on projects at a slower pace. I thought this was important to talk about, I still do, but the way I went about it was beneath the normal standard that I hold myself to. As to my audience, I apologise for that. If you felt you've been mischaracterised, this was not my intention, and genuinely, I'm sorry. There are ways to talk about this that could have been more professional, and as with anything in life, I'll use this to learn and always do better. See, this is the other thing that's annoying about this. This retard has taken big swipes at what, like 10 different content creators.
How do I make money off depressed people?
John Brown actually had the balls to fight for his ideals. So did Cassius Clay.
Very
Can
true.
this guy say the same?
Thank you for the $5. He took these massive swipes at like a bunch of different content creators and called them extreme things and really badly misrepresented them. And then he's like, surprised he's getting a response like that, bro. Yeah, you fucking slandered a bunch of fucking content creators with big platforms. What do you expect to happen? I care so much about horror, it's my life, and I grew tired and scared of seeing hate growing on the fringe of something I care so deeply about. Horror is about kindness, horror is about love. Until next time, Zane. Going to bank that claim up. What about painting me as a Tate fan when I wasn't? It's all right. I can't expect you to be good faith about anyone anyone who you've already perceived as being a monster. Wish you the best in a successful future. I mean, yeah. Like, what an insane... Did he say he's a Tate fan? I thought that was about someone else. Or was it about Mutar? In any case, I mean, yeah, this is obviously an absurd criticism. Oh, he did? Okay. Look on Discord. I'm looking. What am I looking for? What am I looking to see? What is going on? But yeah, no, I mean, it's a very obvious case, isn't it? The guy didn't do his due diligence, didn't do his research, said a bunch of out-of-pocket shit, said stuff that was wrong. Yeah, crazy. Brandon Buckingham is going in. After spreading false accusations that I threatened to rape someone, this guy's now claiming I'm homophobic because I said he seems like has low testosterone. You are such a fucking victim. I watched your entire video and will be making a detailed response. Enjoy your month off. Fucking hell, man. No, now that's intimidation right there. Now that is how you do intimidation, okay? I mean, yeah, rightly so. This dude's trying to wriggle out of it now. You took these big swipes at people off the base of fucking shitty information. Crazy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Well, looking forward to seeing what that video says.